Hi, everyone, and welcome to CM Sportsnet's special presentation of the Carroll County Varsity Wrestling Championships. I'm Pat Stetzer of the Community Media Center, and with me is Michael Duffy, Carroll County Public Schools Supervisor of Athletics. I know this is a big day for Carroll County Wrestling, and it's very exciting to be able to bring you the coverage of the 55th annual meet. That means the county tournament has been going on every year since 1967. That's a couple years older than the two of us, to say the least. Anyway, Michael, I know that the sport is near and dear to your heart. You're a coach, you're a former coach, former wrestler yourself. What's it like to have the county tournament back with a more normal atmosphere after a couple years of there being some not so normal circumstances?
Pat, I think it's awesome. I think it's great for our school system to return to our county title, our county championships in the gym with fans. I think it's great for our students to have this opportunity to showcase what they're bringing to the mat with their parents and family and friends in the stands. I think it's great for that atmosphere that we certainly missed last year, having it in an empty gymnasium. So I think it's really a great opportunity, and we're really excited to be able to bring this to everybody.
And we are as well. It's a pleasure to have you here with me. And now we're going to get right into it, the Varsity Championship Finals of the 2022 Carroll County Wrestling Tournament, and the first weight class up is 106 pounds. It will be Evan Owen of South Carroll against Chris Gang of Winters Mill, a pair of freshmen in the opening weight class. And we're going to show you how they got there first by looking at a little bit of the semifinal matches for each of these young men. First up, we had Evan Owen, who was managed to have a first period pin over Jackson Riley of Francis Scott Key. That's how Evan advanced. And his opponent, Chris Gang from Winters Mill, took on Manchester Valley's Lance Chapman. And I believe you'll see a pin right there as well. So a couple of quick pins for these two guys. And let's go to the 106-pound final from Westminster High School. Evan Owen of South Carroll and Chris Gang of Winters Mill. So, Michael, you got two freshmen here in the final. And their junior league experience gets them to this point. But I was just curious from your side of things as a former coach who's been around the sport for a long time. Do nerves play a factor in a match like this early on when it's the biggest match of their high school career so far?
I think it can, but to a great degree, it's really a matter of wrestling it within their own comfort level. As you can see, South Carroll, Evan Owen both of them are really aggressive early on.
Right.
Chris nearly got a takedown, but Evan is just so comfortable on his feet, was able to defend and get a takedown himself.
Sure. So he's leading here 2-0 at the early takedown. He's on top here.
Yes, he is. Okay. And, while it's a big match, I know Evan's been in several big matches this year because, just last week he helped his team capture the state dual championship.
Correct.
But also Chris has had a lot of big matches too.
Right.
He's coming in with a 24-1 record, and Evan with a 30-3 record. So two well-accomplished ninth graders already.
Evan Owen 6-0 in the regular season in Carroll County, and every win was of the bonus variety, which means he won by more than the decision. 7 points or less is a decision in wrestling. 8-14 is a major decision.
You got it.
15 and over is, it's a quiz here. 15 and over is technical fall, and of course if you pin, that's by sealing your opponent's shoulders to the mat when the official recognizes that he'll signal the pin, and that's how those matches end. But the fact that he got all those bonus points speaks to his 30-1 record or 30-3 record. Meanwhile, Chris Gang, you tell me 24-1. I'm going to assume his only loss came during the regular season, probably to Evan Owen in their dual meet.
Certainly, and you can see that both are real comfortable with what they're doing. Evan is counterattacking really well,
right,
and has a strong ride. Chris is working on his stand-up as he can, but Evan's really controlling the pacing, controlling the hips, and that's such an essential component of mat wrestling.
Right. Now, Gang's on the bottom, and the Winters Mill singlet's got a little bit of the stars and stripes on it. It confused me earlier today when I was watching some of the action. I thought it was Francis Scott Key, used to the traditional red, white, and blue, but Winters Mill breaking out the special singlets for a special event.
And there we are at the end of the first period, and Evan Owen has his 2-0 lead.
So now what happens here, just for the layman, I know we know a little bit about this, but in between these periods, what goes on here with the disc and
Sure, there'll be a coin flip to determine who has decision, and Evan won the coin flip, so he immediately took down.
Okay. I know you can pick the defensive position, which is down, the offensive position, which is top, or neutral.
And you can also defer if you have the
go.
first choice at the beginning of the second period.
Really just a style thing at that point? It would matter how they want to approach the period?
Can be. It can also depend upon the circumstance of the mat, of the match.
Fair.
If they if, for example, there's no point, sometimes you may want to take that early opportunity
Right.
to score the first points. Oftentimes, a lot of times, people will wind up deferring that first choice. Evan working to stand up, trying to get away, and Chris is working to take him right back to the mat, does, and then
Right.
Evan jumps right towards a switch.
Well, okay, so
and looks like he's
he might be
looking
turning
to
this
lock
around
up
a
the
bit.
cradle.
There it is.
He has his reversal.
So now we should be tied 2-2.
He should
Oh,
be
excuse
up
me,
4-0
4-0
right now.
My fault.
He's called the reversal. Waiting on the points on the board. There you go. Looks like he's got a near side cradle. He's got that leg hiked up on the hip and walking him over to his back.
And that's going to be tough to get out of.
If he locks it up well, he's going to be in real good shape.
Yep. Those cradles can be tough to get out of, although it looks like maybe he avoided the pin for now.
He's certainly sitting on his back point criteria.
Yes.
Officials holding his hand,
Yep.
ready to give him once that move is broken, if it is.
Should be 3, right? 3 back points should be coming.
I believe he's got 3. I think that's what he counted, but I'm not. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. He's going back to the same move,
Right.
jacking the leg right up on the hip. It's really difficult to get out of the cradle from that position.
Yes. You can see Winters Mill's coaches from the sidelines sort of urging him to cinch it up, but he did get out of it. Okay. But like you said, 3 back points there, so I believe it should now be a 7-0 lead, and there you go. With second period winding down.
He's got that right leg tied up. Looks like he's working towards a far side cradle.
When you're in that position, Michael, and you have that cradle, is it just best to really keep at it? You don't want to let it go, if at all possible, because you feel like you can really tilt the shoulders and get him on his back to where you need him to be.
Absolutely. You want to try and, whenever you've got an opportunity to pin someone, you want to take you want to take advantage of that immediately.
Sure. End of the second period, I'm sorry, it's 7-0. My only reason I brought that up was because you could let go and try another move, but that cradle is almost, once you've got it cinched, like you said, pretty hard to get out of.
Yes.
So we hold into the
Chris
third
takes,
period.
and Chris wants to go from a neutral position.
Okay. So that's what I was asking earlier. He feels like he can attack here a little bit better.
Well, I think there's a couple things. Number one, he's not gotten away when he's been on bottom.
True.
And number two, he was not able to hold down Evan. So I think he wants to take his chance back at neutral.
Right.
While he got taken down the first time, he was close to getting a takedown. So I think talking with his coaches, they're recommending go back on his feet. Maybe he can get some. Maybe he can catch it. Maybe he can catch a big move and take him to his back.
Sure.
Evan nearly with the takedown, but they're out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Now the out of bounds is the outer circle, and every part of your body has to be out for the referee to blow his whistle?
For the most part,
Okay.
you've got to have, if you have a point in bounds, you can still get a takedown. It's going to depend on the supporting points.
Okay.
If you can keep some toes in, you can still get a takedown.
He stopped him there. I think the hands to the head there as he was trying to get position.
Yeah, officials giving a bit of a warning. Which, no, I take it back. He called a penalty point on it.
I think he gave him a warning right to start the period too, so we might have missed that, but hasn't been put on the board yet. But there it is. Yeah, so now
Evan's
he's
in on a double leg shot.
Okay.
Switches to a single.
Okay, and that 8-0 then signifies for the moment that he's in that bonus point mode again.
Yes, he is.
So, and that's for team at this point of the season. It's a team scoring thing here in the county tournament.
Correct. And Chris fights off the shot.
Yeah.
Now they're back on their feet.
So you're down 8-0 here, Michael. I mean, I know you want to try to and crazy things can happen, but is there a different strategy with a minute left? Are you watching the clock here, or are you just listening to your coaches and trying to do your best not to get pinned?
I think if you're down 8-0, you're kind of looking for a big move. You want to try and do something where you're going to be able to take him to his back. That didn't happen. Evan got yet another takedown.
He did.
He's putting him up 10-0.
Yeah, and he's still
wrestling really strong right now.
Yeah, and still trying to go for that cradle, which is like he had liked that earlier. He had some success with it. So
and I think there's and as he slipped off as he's coming up, as Chris got to his feet.
Yep.
But one of the things I'll credit Evan is there's no stop. He's not resting once he gets on top. He's immediately looking to turn him to his back.
And he's got 2 more.
And he's got 2 more.
Yeah.
Now he's up 12-1.
Yeah.
And he wants bonus points. The major's great, but I think he wants the pin in the county finals.
Nothing like capping your first county final with a pin.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's not going to get it, but he is going to get a victory. And your first county champion of the 2022 tournament is Evan Owen of South Carroll, 106-pound county champ with a 12-1 win over Chris Gang. Congratulations, both guys, getting that far. and they will both be heading over to the regional tournament, of course, next week at their various regional tournaments. But the first one up, one down, 13 to go on the co-ed side. Of course, there's also girls brackets as well. There'll be 7 contested finals, I believe, 7 or 8 contested finals.
I think we're going to see 6 of them today.
6 of them, okay. Not every weight class was completely full, so there was some shuffling around a little bit there. But next up is going to be the boys' 113-pound varsity final, and that is Dylan Oler of Liberty against Ryan Hydorn of Manchester Valley. Oler with his victory over Pat Mattingly of Francis Scott Key to advance to the final round. Another freshman, by the way, is Liberty. Meanwhile, Ryan Hydorn got past Peyton Grogg with a late pin, third period pin in his semifinal match to get there. And again, a couple of freshmen at the 113-pound weight class in the co-ed side. So we will head to that match now at 113 pounds. Dylan Oler of Liberty against Ryan Hydorn of Manchester Valley.
And there's a quick takedown
right off the bat.
By Oler.
Wasted no time. Now, wrestling in the blood here in the Oler family. His older brother, you'll see a little bit later, Ryan Oler, who's been a four-year varsity wrestler, and Dylan, picking up right where his brother left off.
Yes, he was also a junior league champ last year in 2021. And he comes in with a 31-3 record.
Pretty impressive for a first year.
And Hydorn has a 23-17 record.
Right. How important is all that junior league stuff? I mean, we hear a lot about how the kids do so well there. I got to imagine it's almost as at the minor leagues of the varsity wrestling season, but you have a lot of kids who can take that junior league success and take it into the varsity level.
I think it can be very huge. Yeah. If you've got, if you have a comfort level coming in right away, it definitely benefits. Knowing moves, being comfortable on the mat, on your feet, putting chain wrestling together.
Okay.
And I think that's really an essential component of varsity wrestling,
okay.
Going from one move right into another without major delay.
Right.
He's already got 2 back points, and now he's got Hydorn back on his back, picking up more.
The difference between 2 back points and 3 back points is just a timing thing, right, Michael?
Correct. A 2 count, once they're in near fall criteria, nets you 2 points,
right.
And a 5 count nets you 3 points.
Which I believe he just got.
Yep.
So 7-0 lead here.
He has his 7-0 lead.
Yeah. And it's
a
early.
Minute 20 into the match.
Yeah, it's early, and he's already staked himself to a pretty good lead. And he definitely is the aggressor here. Like you said, within 5 seconds of the match, he was in control, had a takedown, and was already working offense. So now it's Hydorn who has to play pretty strong defense here, or else it might get out of hand.
Yes. And he's working to take him to his back yet again.
Yep. I do agree with what we talked about earlier. It is nice to be back at Westminster and see it in that traditional atmosphere where the fans look down from the top and the wrestlers have the bottom to themselves. It's kind of a cool event.
All right, and he got 3 more. So at the end of the first period, Dylan Oler is going to be up 10-0. It's a great start for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, close to a pin there, but Hydorn was able to hold off. And he wanted to start neutral here.
Yes.
And again, going back to what you said, I didn't see who won the toss, but if it was Oler, I could see maybe he just wants to keep going, keep the offense going here. He feels strongly to be able to take him down. Same if it was Hydorn, then he feels like he wanted to do, but Oler's right back at it. Yeah.
A little bit of a throw by, working from the upper body.
Yeah, it wasn't a leg takedown, right? Nope. It was more of a
working his upper body,
yep.
And then right to his back again.
Yep.
So if he can get his 5 count, either he can get a pin here or he can get the 5 count and have the tech fall.
Which stops the match.
He has secured the tech fall now, so
right.
Regardless of what happens, he cannot lose the match.
Correct. So
I think he would like to have the pin to cap off his county championship.
I was going to say that.
And there's a lot of time left.
That is true. He can just hold that squeeze, if you will, for as long as he can, and see if he can pin those shoulders. That'll be that step over might be a little bit better for him.
Yeah, he's in better pinning position at this point with chest on chest.
Yes. Well, if he pins him, or even if he doesn't pin him, Dylan Oler here is going to be your county champion at 113 pounds on the co-ed bracket. Let's see if he can get that pin. We hit 1 minute. Each period is 2 minutes long.
He's got the leg hooked. He's got a nice cover on the top.
He's really trying to work it. I'll give Hydorn some credit, though, for not...
He is fighting.
Yeah, not wanting to give up that pin. That might do it. If
Still got him in criteria. As long as he can keep him in criteria,
right.
He'll continue to have the opportunity to pin him.
Sure. But you can see the referee
the minute he comes out of criteria, this match will be over.
Correct. And you can see the referee over there on his belly has his fingers on the green wristband, He has the 3, so you're, like Michael said, it is 15-0, even though their time is ticking down. So it's either going to end in 20 seconds.
We certainly need to give credit to Ryan Hydorn.
Yeah.
He's putting up one heck of a fight.
Yeah.
I think he's been fighting off his back since a minute 30 remaining in this period.
I think he's
And there he got it.
Yep, he did.
With just 11 seconds left.
New county champion at 113 pounds. Dylan Oler gets the first one of the brothers duo for Liberty. I'm going to see if Ryan Oler can follow suit later in the tournament. But that was the second of the boys, the co-ed, bracket. And I think we're going to go over to the girls bracket now, and that's at 110 pounds. Olivia Esworthy of Winners Mill against Faith Day of Manchester Valley. Let's take a look at that match. 110 pounds in the girls bracket.
So you're doing a little bit of hand fighting to start out.
Right.
Try and, again, feel each other out, get comfortable before one wants to take a shot or work something on the upper body. But certainly want to break through those arm defenses. Olivia with a little bit of an outside shot, a little bit too far out to be taking much of a successful shot.
Going for that leg like she did.
And Faith Day with a little bit of a counter, but now they're back to the hand fighting and trying to work through those arm defenses.
How pleased and how fun is it to see a girls bracket, a girls tournament, a separate girls tournament in the Carroll County Wrestling Championships?
I think it's great. We had, and there's Faith Day with a takedown.
Yep. So she's in top 2-0.
Absolutely. I think it's great to see the girls portion of the tournament. I know a couple years ago in 2020 we had, I want to say, 2 finals.
Okay.
And this year, we've had 24 female participants in wrestling. So
awesome.
It's continuing to grow.
Oh, yeah.
And
No doubt.
I think it will continue. I'm looking forward to both the regional and state tournaments for girls wrestlers.
Yep. So Day's on top
Faith Day,
here.
and she's got Olivia on her, in near fall criteria. She's got a leg in,
She does.
and she's got 2 back points.
Yep. Rules are all the same here, right? Girls'
Absolutely.
rules aren't
She's
any
got
different than
2
the
legs
co-ed.
in. Looks like she's going for a power half on the left side.
And so that move, when you get that shoulder going, it is the tendency of the person on the bottom to want to turn over. Because it doesn't feel
if
good.
it gets painful enough, and she's working her, she's working her over to the side.
She is. Olivia trying not to get pinned here. Faith Day trying to seal it.
Yep. And there it is. There's your pin. A minute 35 into the first period, and our first girls champion of 2022 is Faith Day of Man Valley at 110 pounds.
Congratulations to her. The first girls champ of the day, with a few more to go for sure. We are headed to the 120-pound co-ed championship match. It's going to be a familiar face, Ryan Athey of South Carroll, and he'll be going up against Lee Sipe of Manchester Valley. Now, Athey has been dominating as he has all his high school career. He had a tech fall in the semifinals against Adam Schleicher of Liberty to advance. And Athey continues to pile up the wins. His opponent, Lee Sipe from Man Valley, also had won by tech fall variety. He was able to get the best of Kieran Nagana in the semifinals from Westminster. So Sipe advances. It's a rematch of their duel in the regular season with Man Valley and South Carroll. Let's take a look. Ryan Athey going for his 4th career county championship, and he will join an elite list if he is able to do so. Now there have been
nice
9
outside sweep single right on top, and Athey has a real early takedown.
Surprising too. Surprising he was able to jump that quickly and get it.
I think the clock may have started a little bit late, but he's almost immediately got him to his back as well.
Wow, Athey really, that surprises me.
Athey with 127 career wins to only 5 losses at this point, going into the postseason of his senior year.
It's pretty impressive.
Really an impressive career record. He was a state finalist in 2019 as a freshman, finished 3rd in 2020, and obviously there were no state championships last year, but overall, just a stellar career coming into this.
Absolutely, yeah. He'll finish very strong.
And Lee Sipe sitting here 37-4 this year and 78-18 overall.
Yeah, no slouch.
Absolutely no slouch.
County finalist a year ago, I believe.
Correct.
And a really good wrestler from Man Valley. But Ryan Athey, the way he took control of this match off the jump, I think him a surprise type a little bit. And Athey knows what's at stake here. He's trying to become the 10th wrestler in Carroll history to get 4 career county titles. That's pretty impressive. The last one to do it was Joey Thomas, a name people know around Carroll County wrestling. He won his 4 from 2014 to 2017, and Ryan Athey would join a pretty elite list.
And he's got 3 back now, puts him up 5-0, just under a minute remaining in the first period.
any county champion is well deserved, but to be able to get 2 and 3, and if possible 4, I mean, what does that's got to speak highly of just how much this kid does devote time to wrestling.
Yes, absolutely, and I think as is quite clear. And you look at both his seasonal and career record.
Correct.
He's a mat rat. I mean, he's
is.
about wrestling day in and day out, and he's put in the work day after day, year after year, and you can certainly see the fruits of his labors.
Right. He's not letting go either, by the way.
Not even.
He's had Sipe in this hold.
And he's got a little bit of a mean streak. I mean,
he does.
He is he's tough on the mat. He doesn't take it easy on his opponents. He's really working that half from top, and he's running it hard. All right. So at the end of one, Ryan Athey of South Carroll's up 5-0.
Very good start for Ryan Athey. Like you said, he cinched in that half, and he did not want to let go. And Athey, his freshman year, 106-pounder, very slight, good on a lot of elbows and arms and legs on those 106-pounders. He's definitely filled into some frame, and he definitely looks comfortable at his 120-pound weight class.
Yes, he does. And now he's on bottom.
Yeah, I think he won the toss, so I think he.
And Lee Sipe immediately throws in a leg and starts to work to try and turn from that position.
Now working in the leg, you said he throws in a leg.
Sure.
The advantage being what?
Being able to control the hips from that position.
To try to turn him.
Correctly.
Okay.
Correct. And Athey comes out from behind. Leg came out, and then Athey came out behind, gets a nice reversal. That puts him up 7-0.
So obviously the leg didn't help Sipe there because Athey was able to get out of it, use those hips, use the leverage to get around him, which got a reversal, which is good for 2 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he goes right back to that half Nelson series, and he is just cranking on the neck.
Yeah, he really wants this move. I think they must have talked about it and watched. I'm sure they watched a little bit of film as much as they could to see, strengths and weaknesses of the opponent. That he knows Lee Sipe, and so they know each other pretty well. And if they haven't wrestled much, they've seen each other wrestling against the Carroll County field. So they know each other. These guys know each other a lot from playing wrestling in tournaments and junior leagues and all kind of stuff.
They're both experienced wrestlers.
Correct.
They've certainly faced each other. They're familiar with each other. But Athey has that far side cradle locked up, and now he's working to turn, and now it came out. So he's just right back on top and riding really well.
Sipe had a nice run earlier this season in the Rebel Duels, which I believe is at South Hagerstown High School. He ran through that without a loss. So obviously both these guys piling up the wins this year. And Athey, he reached 100 career wins earlier this year, and he's got a chance to really add some more here in the next couple of weeks.
And he's still undefeated on the year.
Yeah.
And having an undefeated high school career or high school season is a rarity. But he's also taken, South Carroll has as you and I mentioned earlier this week in our podcast, South Carroll has not taken an easy schedule this year.
Correct.
So by Ryan Athey being undefeated, he's taken on all comers as well.
Yeah, their regular season schedule was also challenging. They took on all comers.
And there we are at the end of 2 periods. Athey's still up 7-0.
Yeah. That podcast you mentioned, by the way, I think it's called The Score and More. It's myself and Mr. Duffy, and we try to get together every week and talk about Carroll County High School sports. So look for it wherever you get your podcast. So we'd love to have you as a rater, reviewer, subscriber, and we'll probably be breaking down the Carroll County Wrestling Tournament next week in some part of our podcast.
There's Athey in on a single leg, circling around. He can pop his head. He's going to have his 2-point takedown. He's got the far leg hooked as well with his hands, and there's his 2. So he's now up 9-0. He has now earned at this point
points,
a major decision, which is an extra point towards the team.
During my plug, I didn't see how the period started. Did we start neutral?
He started neutral, and then Athey let up Lee Sipe to bring it to 9-1.
So again, the strategy there being that maybe Athey thinks he's better on his feet in that position to let Sipe get a point, but also to get back on his feet and try to go for 2 more.
Correct. Or he thinks he has a better shot to take him to his back.
Okay.
If he wants to try and go for a pin or maybe a tech fall, he doesn't want. He was having some difficulty. He was riding really well, but other than the one time, was not able to turn him to his back. So he's back in on a nice single as he switched to a double, and he's keeping his hips low as he's trying to work up the body. And Sipe's trying to lift up Athey from his hips.
Sipe obviously in complete defensive mode here, trying to get anything going.
Yeah, and we might be nearing a stalemate call.
Now stalemate.
Oh, I'm sorry. They gave the takedown earlier for Athey. I missed that. I apologize.
I did too.
So they're saying Athey's still in control, although we still might be nearing a stalemate.
So a stalemate meaning that nothing's really going, there's no advantage either way, and the referee will stop the match momentarily to restart it.
Correct. That they've determined it's kind of a stuck position. No one has much of an ability to improve his position.
Correct. Now, Sipe may have been in line for a reversal.
Not as long as Athey keeps that leg and keeps him from behind.
Correct. Well, well, time's running out here, so it's going to be Ryan Athey. He's still holding on.
He's still holding on to the leg, and there you go.
Yep.
So there is your 4-time county champion,
You don't say that
Ryan
too
Athey
often.
of South Carroll.
You don't say that too
Congratulations
often.
to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. The 10th, if my history is good, the 10th.
Congratulations to Ryan Athey on his 4th county championship.
10th guy ever in Carroll County co-ed history to win 4 career county championships. Congratulations to Ryan Athey of South Carroll. We're heading back to the girls' side of things. It's going to be the 115-pound final, and it's going to be Ava Rupp of Francis Scott Key and Andrea Antunez of Winters Mill. It's a 115-pound final on the girls' side of the bracket. Getting the headgear set, and then they'll be all ready to go. Antunez does have some history and some varsity wrestling history so far in her career. I believe Rupp might be a first or second year wrestler, or at least a younger wrestler with maybe not as much experience as Antunez. How's her season gone so far, Michael?
Ava Rupp finished second at the Winters Mill girls tournament back in January.
Okay.
She comes in with an 8-4 record.
Okay.
And Andrea Antunez was a county runner-up last year, and she finished 3rd at the Falcon Invitational, which I don't know if they were in the same weight class or not. They're both sitting at 115 right now.
Right.
They've got a nice collar tie. And both
Winters.
circling, looking for it. And
Wow, right quick to
there's
the leg.
Antunez
Yeah.
right in on the leg on the outside of it. And the official stopped it because that leg got twisted around a little bit for potentially dangerous.
And that's a benefit of having the second official on the mat for the finals.
Absolutely.
You don't want to have any sort of legs and arms bending the wrong way, choking in the neck area,
Correct.
or things of that
Locked
nature.
hands that the one official might miss.
Correct.
You've got the second official who can assist with that.
Yeah, it's good
So
to
you
have
have the head official and the head referee and the assistant referee.
it's good to
All
have
right,
the 2-man
back in
crew.
on another
Yep,
shot
yep.
by Antunez.
So aggressor right away is
Yes.
Andrea.
But Rupp really countering well, and she gets behind. She earned her takedown.
Oh, she did get
and
2 there.
Right back to, and then
Okay.
Antunez standing up right away. So now it's 2-1. Rupp has the lead.
So even though it wasn't the traditional taking the person down to the mat, she was awarded the 2 there for being behind her and have control.
She controlled the hips, and
Yes.
she was on top with them on the mat.
Okay.
That is it.
Makes sense, I think.
And yeah, a little bit. Looked like Antunez kind of with a little bit of a snap down.
Yeah, so because you got that neutral escape, we're back to, or the escape rather, for 1 point, we're back to the neutral position.
Correct.
You mentioned the Winters Mill tournament. That's a very cool event that Winters Mill was able to host a full-blown girls tournament. I know Coach John Lowe on the girls' side at Winters Mill.
And there's Antunez throwing a headlock from up.
Yeah. I'll stop talking because this might be a pin.
It's okay. And she got her down. Looks like it's going to be 3 back.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that it was kind of special this winter to have that girls tournament. It was well received and well attended.
Yes, it was. And teams from all around the state came and were able to participate. And I think it's just another good part of growing girls wrestling across
Absolutely.
the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
And here in Carroll County, our coaches have really taken it seriously and have worked to build their programs. And I
Right.
think it's only going to benefit
Oh, yeah.
the sport.
Yeah, Winters Mill has a robust lineup too of girls, I believe.
Yes,
on their
they
team.
do.
And
Antunez won the toss, and she elected neutral. So here
anytime,
we begin the second period.
anytime you can get John Lowe out of retirement, it's a good thing on the Winters Mill wrestling side.
I think it certainly benefits
Benefits
the kids. Yeah.
Long-time varsity coach, former state champ at the dual and team level for John, and twisted his arm and got him to come out and coach the girls. I think he's having a fun time this year too. I talked to him a couple times during the season. He's enjoying it. But yeah, anyway, again, like you said, started this period neutral, and both girls have scored, so it's still close. Like you mentioned earlier, a takedown from either side, a takedown from Rupp's angle, and she's right back in the match.
Right.
Referees will also, you can expand on this, but they will try to encourage wrestlers to stay in the middle of the match, just to sort of you'll hear them say works to the center, because you don't want too much of the match to stop if you're going out of bounds. You want to try to get as much scoring in that inner circle there, so to speak. Obviously, you can score anywhere in the outer circle as well, but you will hear that work to center, and that's important on that side.
Yeah, they really want to encourage action. They want to make sure that the wrestlers are continually looking to improve, and you'll hear that said by officials as well. You know, improve your position, look to improve, both men or both wrestlers keep working.
Correct.
Because again, for the spectator, you want to see the wrestlers continually working to improve their position, not get caught in the, okay, I'll just kind of hang out here. Right now, they're both trying to figure out what they want to do from the neutral position.
But they are both
and
working.
a lot of hand fighting.
Right.
And I think we've kind of seen some half shots is the best way I'd put it.
We saw we saw someone, one of the
little
girls
bit of
try
a
to snap down,
sure.
with the shoulders and head. I was only going to add to the work to center idea that you can be penalized for not showing enough action, and that's with what's called a stall. You'll get warned the first time. Second time?
Second time becomes a point.
It is a point, okay.
Yeah, it goes immediately to a point. And there we are after 2 minutes of moving around on their feet, no further points scored. And Rupp has elected the down position. She thinks she has an opportunity to either reverse or escape and get back to her feet.
But I just want to mention the stall, because if you see that, we might see that today at some point.
Certainly.
You have to try to, the goal is to try to continue to work toward a pin or points, as you were talking about. But you can't just lay there and or sit there and or try to leave the mat if an opponent's coming at you offensively. So you might see a few of those things as we go along today, but if you do, that's what that means.
Certainly. Well, it's incumbent on both wrestlers to work to improve their position.
Yeah.
If the bottom wrestler does, they don't stop the action. They'll just warn give a stall warning, and then the second time give a point. If the top wrestler is stalling, that's really preventing the bottom wrestler from improving his or her position. So they'll stop the match and restart them from referee's position.
Yeah. Could be your advantage there would be just, well, if I can just hold my opponent down, I could win, but that's not the goal.
Absolutely. So she's got her near side leg in, and
potentially
called
dangerous.
potentially. No, I take it back. He called an illegal. My guess is it was a full Nelson. I couldn't quite see the angle, but based on where she was positioned, it was probably a full Nelson, and that is a penalty point, which brings Rupp down. Now she's down only 6-3 with 1:10 remaining.
Correct. A lot of time left. I was only going to ask you. So it was the penalty point awarded to Rupp, but Rupp still stays in that down position. There's no advantage one there, so it stays the same. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So the 115-pound final.
And Antunes is riding pretty well, though she's a little bit out in front, but she is controlling, and she may want to work to control the hips a little bit better to make sure she can try and keep Rupp down.
Absolutely. I was going to say Rupp had a chance there maybe to turn a little bit, pivot.
But she's also working that half Nelson series pretty well, along with, and now she's a little bit covering better on the hips.
Yeah,
so she's in pretty good position.
Rupp needed that escape to at least try to turn things.
And there when she tried to flip over, went towards her back, and I think he may have counted 2. I guess we'll find out shortly.
Yeah, I can't tell. Okay.
Okay, he did not give 2. But there's a reversal for Rupp. With 15 seconds, she's down only 6'5". She's going to need something.
She's got to do
either
something
turn her to her back or let her loose and try and take her down in that time period.
It's not going to be
enough time. She's thrown in a leg. I think she's going to run it just a little bit shy on time. And there is your 115-pound champion, Andrea Antunes, and a good show of sportsmanship by both of those ladies.
Absolutely, and a good match. A good match. Antunes of Winner's Mill, the county champ at 115 pounds, 6-5 over Ava Rupp of Francis Scott Key. Good match from both girls. We are headed on to 126 on the co-ed side. Michael Pizzuto of South Carroll and Zach Kinlock of Francis Scott Key. Pizzuto, obviously a name people are familiar with in the Carroll wrestling circuits. He pinned his opponent, Jared Pike of Liberty, in the semifinal round to advance. Meanwhile, Kinlock also with a pin late in his match against Jamie Goodwin of Winner's Mill earlier today in the semifinal. So he has advanced on to the championship round to face Michael Pizzuto of South Carroll. A 2-time county champion, Pizzuto is looking for number 3 against Zach Kinlock, who is going for his first. Let's see how it goes.
Kinlock coming into the year, coming into this point in the season, he's sitting 18-8 on the year and 69-28 overall. As you mentioned, Pizzuto's going for his third county championship as a junior. He is 33-0 this year and 92-0 overall. State champ in 2020, and then won that county championship last year, which is at the point where the season ended. Yep. And he immediately gets a takedown right into a cradle.
Yeah. Pizzuto won his first career county title at 106 pounds in 2020, moved up to 120 pounds in 2021. He's up to 126 this year. And like Michael said, off to a good start in this match against Kinloch. Two-time runner-up at the FSK Memorial Christmas Tournament, one of the long-standing tournaments in Carroll County and the state for that matter. It's been going on for over a half a century, and Kinloch represents his home school well there.
Yes. Pizzuto is a very, very technically sound wrestler.
Absolutely.
Always keeps himself in good position, which helps explain his 92-0 career record.
A little bit. He's taken on all comers and has yet to lose. I believe his freshman year down at Showplace Arena, Upper Marlboro, site of the state championships, he finished his season with a 50-0 record. And it looks like we have a little bit of blood time.
A little bit of blood time. Pizzuto looks like he's got a bleeding. I think it may have been his nose. They get 5 minutes of blood time throughout the entire match. So he's going to get that covered. As soon as the blood is stopped, the blood clock will stop. And then it may be cleanup time, but cleanup doesn't count against their 5 minutes. It's what the blood time. Once it can get the bleeding to stop, that's the blood time.
And it's 5 minutes for the entirety of the match.
Correct.
I believe.
And there you go. They're stopping it. Looks like at about 4:35. Still running it. Never mind. I thought they'd stopped it, but he's used a little over 30 seconds.
Yeah. And this is normal in the wrestling scene. You're going to get some bumps in the nose and some cuts here and there.
Certainly.
So it's
Pizzuto is still up 2-0, and he's on top to start the match to finish in this first period.
Yeah. Clock just a little behind.
And 50 seconds remaining.
So you're right. It was about 30 and change seconds of blood time. So he obviously well within the limit.
Certainly.
There was a reason I wanted to bring. I'm glad you brought that up. There was a match yesterday in the JV tournament. Right off the bat, I believe, where
first match of the day.
Young man from Century, I believe, just could not really get that bleeding to stop and wound up having to lose the match, injury default, because the blood time ran out.
Exactly, he ran out of blood time.
It does happen. It's rare, but it does
happen.
happen.
It is a rarity, but you're correct, Pat. It does happen sometimes. Yeah. And now he's trying to work a tilt, and he's got Kinloch on his back.
And so the tilt, meaning he's got that arm really wedged into to the hip, so he can really turn him at will and sort of get those back points.
Correct. And tilt is really more of a back point move. It's not a pinning combination.
Right.
You can get. It's typical that they'll get wrestlers in near fall criteria,
Correct.
and he did not. And he got 3 back points on that. They'll get in near fall criteria, but it's really not a point where you're going to. There's not enough force on the body to
keep
pin the shoulders down.
Yeah, correct.
And now we're back at neutral to start the second period.
I didn't see who won the flip, but if it was
and
Pizzuto, it makes sense.
Immediately gotten right back onto his cradle.
That's it.
And he's got the near side cradle, and he's got him on his back.
Yeah, this might be a quick up. Thought he had him for a second there. Like you said earlier.
Very similar to the cradle that I think it was Evan Owen had. And Ryan Athey.
South Carroll fans in the stands want that pin, and there it is.
And there's the fall.
Michael Pizzuto, for the third time in his career, Carroll County Varsity Tournament champion.
In 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
Over Zach Kinloch. So he is now a 3-time champ. He'll have a chance to make that list of the 4-time champions before it's all said and done in his career. So congratulations to Michael Pizzuto, who will be a favorite again next week at the regional tournament. We are up to the 120-pound girls final. Caroline McCann of Westminster against Summer Shackelford of Manchester Valley. Let's take a look at this one. Summer Shackelford, Michael, you're about to tell me, but she's no stranger to this tournament as well.
No, she's not. She's 13-1 this year. She's 27-6 in her 3 years. She did place in the girls' state tournament 2 years ago. I think she got 3rd. She started wrestling 2 years ago, and she's certainly making a name for herself in Manchester and in Carroll County wrestling.
Absolutely.
Caroline McCann got 3rd at the Winners Mill tournament this year. So Westminster bringing quite a few girls wrestlers to the tournament as well.
And I mentioned Winters Mill and how well they've done in wrestling, but Man Valley 2 years ago really kind of started the trend in Carroll County by bringing a handful of girls, not just one or two, but maybe double digits, I believe, that first year. And the girls really enjoyed it. I was able to get
there's,
Yep.
sorry to interrupt,
No,
but there's
go ahead.
Summer locking up a cradle and getting a takedown.
Yeah, it's okay.
Getting a
you
near
can
side cradle.
The cradle is the theme here so far in this
It
tournament.
certainly seems to be, and it looks like she's trying to step behind the leg like everyone else has.
That's right.
And try and jack that up. It is a very uncomfortable pinning combination if you're in it, but a very effective one for the top wrestler. And she's working to try and turn her over, but Carolyn McCann does still have that right leg of Summer Shackelford.
Between the leg there, right?
And there you go. So she gave up on the cradle and is now on a more parallel top position.
But she is in control here.
She is. McCann's working to her feet, trying to turn, and she's got her escape.
Okay.
So it's just a 2-0. She had the cradle locked up, but it's still only 2-0, no back points.
Now 2-1 with that escape.
Yeah, correct. Thank you. 2-1.
Okay.
And here we go towards the end of the first period.
Yeah, that's the end of the first period. Wow, it seemed like it was a little more points than that. You're right, but only 2-1. McCann very much in the match still against Summer Shackelford. I think Shackelford won the flip.
And took down.
She did.
So McCann's on top.
27
and she's going with an optional start where she's going to be standing with two hands on the back.
So she
and immediately jumps on.
So that you can do that.
You can, and that did not.
It didn't work.
That was not so effective because Summer immediately got a reversal.
I think that her plan was to maybe catch her a little off guard there, and Summer was smart to it.
Summer's got a nice crossface. It looks like she's trying to lock up that far side cradle.
27-6, I was going to say a second ago. Then that's definitely off to a really fine start for Summer, who a lot of these girls, if I remember correctly at the Man Valley level, they got introduced to the sport right there. They had not come up and wrestled as younger girls. So to be able to take to it like that and then be dedicated to it speaks a lot to Summer's work ethic and really her passion for the sport.
Absolutely, it does. And now she's working. She's got that arm pulled underneath and working to try and run around to turn her.
Which
so
was
she's certainly using some nice technique. And okay, now she's.
What's with all the cradle? Well, I was going to say, what's with all the cradles today?
Yeah. It's an effective move.
It sure is.
All right. So we'll see if Caroline can. She's working back to her base, which last time then she stood up and was able to escape.
Okay, Caroline is not really out of this match yet. I know she's been on the defense most of the time, but she's not given up multiple points here. She's been in some trouble, but she's been able to kind of get out of it.
Correct. And there's that cradle. It's locked up, and now you can see back points being counted. But she's broken the cradle grip, but she did have her on her back.
Yeah.
And
time winding down here in that second period. Summer's trying to cinch it up one more time, but you're right. 3 back points there, I believe.
Yeah, that
widens the gap.
It does. That 6-point difference is going to be a tall task to overcome for Carolyn McCann.
Yeah, it is. Now, Carolyn 3-4 this year, though, so I mean, she does have some wins. She does have some experience in that level. Like you said, 3rd at the Winters Mill tournament, so she did place. So she does have a little bit of success on her belt.
Looks like she's going to take neutral.
Okay.
She thinks she might have an opportunity to take Summer to her back and perhaps get a pinfall.
That might be the best option here, down 7-1, correct?
So she may be looking for a big move.
It may be.
Something that can immediately get her to her back.
Correct.
So if Summer's smart, she's probably looking out for a headlock to make sure she doesn't walk into something like that. And there's a front headlock that Summer's working.
Yep.
Right to trying to work behind, and looks like she has controlled the hips, and she's gotten her too. So now, and then looked like you almost had a reversal for Carolyn.
Looked like it, yeah. Westminster coaches thought so.
Great counter by Summer, takes her right to her back.
Yeah.
Really strong hips there.
Yep.
That was the difference in that, because she really just hipped in well and was able to control.
I could see Westminster's coaches get excited for a second and then immediately realized their wrestler was a little trouble again. So
All right.
they want to try to get another reversal.
She's got 3 more back. That puts her up 12-1 with just under a minute remaining in this match. And she's got that half.
She does. Some are in complete control here so far with 50 seconds to go.
And looks like she's going back to that far side cradle.
Hey, go back to the well a few times,
Absolutely.
whatever works.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hey, scores points at least, right?
She wants. She's
she's
not in
got
the
it.
greatest of pinning position, but she does have that cradle locked, and she got it.
She
So
did get
good
it.
for her. Summer Shackelford.
Fourth time was the charm there with that cradle.
Your 2022 120-pound girls champion over Carolyn McCann of Westminster.
Shackelford getting the arm raised there. Congrats to her. We're off to the 132-pound co-ed bracket, which has already begun that final match. Gage Owen of South Carroll against Jake Hurst of Century.
Jake Hurst coming in at 22-6 on the season and 68-28 overall. Gage Owen is another undefeated South Carroll
Correct.
wrestler. He's 31-0, and he's only lost 3 times in his career. He's 87-3. He was a 2020 state champ as a freshman, going for his 3rd county title.
Third county title, the 120 county champ at 2020 and the 132-pound
He's got an early takedown and then lets Hurst go.
county champ last year. Yeah, I saw that.
Hurst was 3rd in the counties last year, 4th 2 years ago. A couple years ago, he won the FSK tournament.
His brother Stephen Hurst, also a fine wrestler before him at Century.
Yes.
Good athletes on the Hurst side.
As I kind of alluded to earlier, Gage Owen, very much of that South Carroll go at it
Yes.
mindset, never letting up.
Yes.
The entire time, really just action, action, action.
People mistake that sometimes for being, cocky or mean-spirited per se, but it is wrestling. I mean, that is a style, and it's understood across the wrestling mats.
Yes. And, Gage is another very technically
Yes.
sound wrestler. Doesn't put himself in bad positions.
Yes.
Jake Hurst had a decent shot, but Owen was able to counter, get the takedown, and then let him go. So he feels very comfortable on his feet. He's got a nice 4-2 lead with just over 30 seconds remaining in the first period.
You mentioned technique. That is sort of the style. If you're that technical wrestler, is the takedown, let up, takedown, to sort of build the lead and then maybe go for bigger points later.
Correct. And there he's got another takedown. Puts him up 6-2. He's got 20 seconds remaining.
Owen, one of the 3 South Carroll State champions from that 2020 season. Certainly looking for another one this year and get there first. We'll try to win a county title.
Right. Well, like the rest of the South Carroll team, he's already won 1 state title
That
this
is
year
true.
with the duels.
The Class 1A dual state champions from last weekend, South Carroll. Michael, you watched them go down to Waldorf at North Point High School and complete that undefeated dual season.
Yes, and
Impressive fashion as well.
very much so. That just non-stop motor they've
Yes,
got moving
yes.
for them.
Yep.
And Gage Owen took bottom to begin the second period as he's up 6-2. They're on their feet. Hurst is going to have to do something, take him to the mat. There's his stall warning because he hasn't made a move, and that's apparently the second stall warning, which puts him down 7-2 to Gage Owen.
And you saw the fist raise. That's the stall, and then, like Michael said, they awarded a point.
At least I thought he did.
He held it up.
And then there's the escape.
So should it be 7-3?
I think it should be 8-2.
8-2. Okay.
But there's yet another takedown. So maybe the first one was only the stall.
Maybe it was a warning.
Thought he'd put up a point.
I did too.
Takedown and let him up again.
Yep. Again, like we
I think
said.
we're behind on the points.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Some might say he's trying to put on a little bit of a clinic here in terms of the ability to take his opponent down,
Yes.
let him up, and then go for another one that quick. Again, piling those points up, getting that lead back up, which is now a major decision. I'm sorry, it's still a decision, but he's looking for that major decision.
I think we're off a few points
yeah.
right now.
Oh, there they are. I think we just had to catch up a little bit.
Certainly. And now he's got him towards his back in near fall criteria. Got at least a 2 count.
We're under 50 seconds now to go in the second period.
That puts him up 13-3. And while Gage Owen is dominating this match, I want to be clear, Jake Hurst is no slouch. He's a very accomplished
Correct.
wrestler in his own right.
Correct.
So take nothing away from him. It's Gage Owen is just dominating as he's dominated this season.
Third last year of the county tournament for Jake Hurst. Fourth the year before, so he knows his way around the brackets.
And he certainly, he's putting up a good fight.
He is.
And there's another takedown for Owen.
The final seconds of this second period. You'll see the volunteer kind of come out and help. And that's just because there's lots of noise in the gym and there might be some other whistles going on. So you want to make
You've
sure
got two clocks going. You want
Yes.
to make sure the officials have the correct one.
Yes. He'll come out with a towel and sort of just nudge the referee to tell him that the time's up.
And Hurst takes neutral.
Okay.
While he's been taken down a lot, his best chance may lie
That's
in
on his feet.
is trying to catch Gage Owen and take him to his back.
Correct.
At least that seems to be a strategy.
It's a
Although there's Owen looking like he's got another takedown working front.
That's the
from
theme
front.
here.
Yeah.
No cradles in this one. Just a lot
No,
of
he hasn't
takedowns.
needed to. A lot of takedowns, a little bit of. He had one near fall.
Right.
And now he's got that far side cradle. Oh, he had it for a moment. Working to try and lock up that far side cradle. Oh, but you give Hurst credit.
Yeah.
He's fighting the entire time. He's not giving up on anything.
Yep.
Although he just got called for another stall. And there goes Owen with the far side cradle locked up.
He's got
Has
some
him on his
backdoors
back
coming here, yeah.
with a minute to go.
Yeah.
And takes him off. And that will finish it up because that will be a technical fall for Gage Owen, picking up his third county title in 3 years.
That's impressive. And that was an impressive final for Gage Owen. Another South Carroll victory at the final level. And we are headed to the 138-pound varsity final now on the boys' side. Ryder Eckenbarger of Westminster going to go up against Anthony Bond of South Carroll. Eckenbarger pinned his opponent in the semifinals, Kevin Poole of Liberty, in the second period to advance. And also you're going to see Anthony Bond face Blake Ray of Manchester Valley. They fought in the semifinals. And another pin, this one came in the third period as well, of that semifinal. So Eckenbarger's in the second period, Bond's in the third period. They're going to face off in the 138-pound final. Let's take a look. Westminster High School hosted the Carroll County Wrestling Tournament once again this year. We are going to hit the 138-pound final. Bond against Eckenbarger. Eckenbarger, another one that's had some brothers come through Westminster's pipeline and have very much good deal of success. His brother, a former state champion, county champions, and Ryder trying to add to the list.
Ryder is 28-5 this year. He's got 64 career wins. And he's facing off against Anthony Bond, who's 25-7 on the year, and he has 77 career wins. So should
be a good match.
I think it is. I think it looks like a good matchup. Eckenbarger in on a low single, working underneath, trying to come out the back door, and does. He's got control of the hips and takes him out of bounds. That puts Eckenbarger up 2-0.
In control. Eckenbarger's definitely added some muscle in the last couple of years.
He's gotten
looks
bigger.
very
He was
cut,
a smaller freshman. Bond with the escape.
Bond all wrapped up in a knee brace and the shoulder brace. So the South Carroll Black is well represented on Bond.
Good point. Eckenbarger in on the single.
Yeah.
Bond trying to counter. Looks like they may go out of bounds. I think Eckenbarger's trying to keep him in.
Yeah.
And
ooh. Boy, I thought Eckenbarger had that takedown.
I thought
but it's not
Eckenbarger
over
had it,
yet.
and then I thought Bond had it. But Eckenbarger's managed to hold on to that leg to keep Bond from being behind. And now it's like he's trying to come out the back like he did the first time. If he can spin, he might be in good
Correct. And get
position
that leg around.
that he can
Bond's
control
trying
it.
to get out. And
No,
he did.
nothing.
Still
And they're neutral.
Yeah.
Great,
That was a nice tussle
great
there.
wrestling and counter wrestling
Yes.
by both of them.
Yeah.
No one giving up anything. I thought each might have a takedown.
I looked like that to me too. First period winding down here.
Yeah. A lot of action for a 2-1 match so
Absolutely,
far.
and I was just going to say too, that Eckenbarger had that quick start, and Bond has sort of stemmed the tide a little bit. That's going to be the end of the period.
There you go. We've got 2-1 going into the second period.
We thought it'd be a good match. Eckenbarger wins the flip.
Eckenbarger defers,
Yes.
and Bond's going to take down.
Which means that if the match goes to the third period, that'll be Eckenbarger's choice
Correct.
in that third period. I expect more of the same here. I would expect these guys to really stay close.
All right, there's a caution,
Which means what, Michael?
which means it's a warning the first time. It's a caution on Ryder Eckenbarger for moving before the whistle.
Okay. You have to be in place before the referee blows his
And
whistle.
looks like Coach Matt Thomas of South Carroll has a question for the official.
Uh-huh.
So you can see what the assistant referee is going to be doing is keeping them in the center of the mat so they're not able to go over and
Right.
talk to their coaches.
Right.
All right.
So the caution may have been, he may have just accidentally awarded the caution to the wrong guy. That might have been what Matt was wondering.
Correct.
Also, they took a point away off the board. It should be 2-1.
It should be 2-1. You're right.
Definitely they'll fix it. Yeah. All right.
All right.
We're
So
underway.
Eckenbarger working ankle, trying to control, and Bond back on his feet. Eckenbarger's going to need to be careful to take him down to the mat or let him go, and he does pick him up and take him right back down. They only have a short period of time to initiate putting them back on the mat before you get a stall warning.
Might be honest, missions with the clock here a little bit. They got to make sure that gets
Yeah,
fixed.
it certainly seemed to be more than 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there may have been a slow start on the clock.
Yep.
I guess
Is
the
he
officials
saying
are.
maybe we're going to start this over?
I guess the officials are content that it was
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a fast 3 seconds, or a long 3
It was
seconds,
a long
I
3
guess.
seconds.
And there's a caution again.
Oh,
There's
now
another
that's another
caution on
one.
Ryder Eckenbarger. If there's another caution, that's going to cost him a point. So he's going to need to be careful for the remainder of the match, not to move before that whistle.
He's a little antsy, I guess, trying to do what he wants to
Seems
do.
to be. All right.
Yeah.
Bond coming up strong, but Eckenbarger immediately going back to that leg. And if Eckenbarger doesn't start working up the body, he's going to get a stall warning. And
He got one.
he did give him the escape. He initially.
I think he just pointed the wrong way.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're
Okay.
2-2.
Yeah.
Still a good bit of action.
Oh, yeah. Like we said, we sort of expected this one to be pretty close. And it always seems to be that these weight classes are the most tightly contested, these middle weights. Most of the brackets are usually filled.
Eckenbarger's in on a nice single, trying to work back down to the mat. And there's his control too. Yep, got it.
Yep.
He needs to work up, and
Now,
he called him for locked hands. So that's 1 point for Bond because he had the legs, but he had his hands locked on the top position. It was not in a pinning combination, so that's going to cost Eckenbarger a point.
and you can hear some of the fans in the stands wanting stalling being called, and also wondering that on the Westminster side, they want to know what it seems like maybe Bond is trying to leave the mat, just not turn and wrestle and just get out. Although that is a bit of the strategy there when you're facing that sort of ankles locked up and that kind of a thing.
And that's where it comes down to the official's
Yeah,
judgment
correct.
of was he working to escape or was he working to flee the mat? And
Right.
if it's fleeing the mat, then you're certainly going to lose. Then you're going to have a penalty point.
Point taken away, right? Or I'm sorry, a point added to the other side. So the referee's doing a good job here to keep order.
Eckenbarger's going to have to be careful not
That
to
is correct.
false start. Otherwise, it's going to cost him a point this time.
He was good there.
Yep.
As we approach the 1 minute mark of the second period.
Bond's back on his feet. Eckenbarger's going to need to take him down or let him go. Or, okay, there's that stall warning on Eckenbarger for not returning him to the mat. So now we're all tied up. Eckenbarger has 2 cautions and a stall warning.
Yeah.
So any one of those is going to cost him a point.
He's put himself in a little bit of a bind in that way.
He is. While he's all tied up, and
Yep.
you know he has the only 2 takedowns of the match.
Correct.
He's also given up the only penalty point, and he's a little bit potentially in concern about if he moves early
That's
or
what I mean, yeah.
if a stall warning. He's going to need to be careful.
You can do that once if you're Bond and not get penalized for it. You can't now if you're Eckenbarger.
Certainly. Again, another nice low single. Eckenbarger is initiating the action on their feet.
And Bond's got the ankle.
Bond's trying to
Keep away the takedown,
He's
right?
trying to hook that near ankle to say that he's got a takedown, but I think he's going to run out. Certainly doesn't have the control of the hips. And they're going to go to the 3rd period all tied up. It's Eckenbarger's choice.
Matt Thomas wanted to go over to talk to the official, but I think one of his assistants told him maybe save it. Neutral, I think.
Yeah, looks like Eckenbarger's going to choose neutral. It was
Eckenbarger's
a
little
long time
tired.
making that decision.
Yeah, he may be a little tired here.
I was wondering if the officials were going to push that action a little bit more.
Yeah.
Eckenbarger feels comfortable with in his takedown position. He has scored, as I said, 2 takedowns. He feels like he can control the action better on his feet than either on top or bottom.
Right. It's one of those matches. I know it's early here to 3rd. Next takedown feels maybe it wins, just based on their abilities to keep each other kind of in that down position.
Certainly. Eckenbarger needs to make sure he's not backing up.
But he keeps that leg away though too, right? He's sort of step away from that
Yes.
leg.
Well, he backed up and then stepped right in.
He sure did.
And he's now switching to a double. And he's got,
A nice move, nice ability
yeah,
to
he
keep
got
his
a
feet
nice
in.
2 takedown and kept in his feet.
Very nice from Ryder Eckenbarger. Not over yet though. Not
No,
over yet.
because he has to be careful. He can't make mistakes. So if he comes up to his feet, it's going to probably behoove Eckenbarger just to let him go so that he can
and he is.
give up the escape.
And he is.
All right, he's putting him on his feet now, so he can try and avoid that stall call.
That plus again, he feels good about his chances here in neutral to take Bond down. But you're right. Staying away from the stall call, staying away from the caution call.
Because a stall and an escape would have made it 6-6. So that's why he just gave him the escape. And he feels very confident on his feet, and he's dominated on his feet. He's pushed the action. He's gotten all 3 takedowns.
A 3rd stall call can also be 2 points awarded, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so not saying we'll get there, but we are sort of on that path, depending on what Eckenbarger does the rest of the way here.
But while he got called for stalling on top, he's dominated. He's been very aggressive. I don't want to say dominated.
No, you're
He's been
right.
very aggressive on his feet. He's not been hanging around waiting.
He may
And
have
it looks
some
like he
blood.
may have a blood issue.
Yeah, he was touching his nose. Maybe he's got some blood. Oh, no, we're not going to
Official
have
says
blood.
no. All right.
Oh, he didn't see his hand, maybe.
Looks like it's cleanup.
Oh, okay.
It's not actually
Okay.
blood
Okay.
time, but it's going to be cleanup time.
Okay.
No, maybe it is blood. All right, back on.
Yeah. Well, you want to keep everything clean.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want blood on my hand either.
All right, so here we are with 40 seconds remaining. Eckenbarger's up 6-5.
Clearly the best match we've seen so far.
Yep, working a little bit of a front headlock. Wants to be careful. Needs to watch his
Bond.
position and a little bit out of bounds.
Bond was close. Bond was close.
And now we do have blood time for Eckenbarger.
Yeah.
His nose is bleeding.
Yep. Well, it had to come from somewhere. It didn't just come out of the rafters of Westminster High School. So
It's going to give both wrestlers a little bit of a breather.
Correct.
Gives Bond a little bit more of a chance to get some coaching and some advice from his coaches so that he could be prepared for this final, I think we've got about 35 seconds.
That's right, yep. And
He's
a
going
little
to
bit
need a takedown to win this match.
he does, and a little bit of agua to get that last little bit of hydration.
Or I guess he could get a stall call and push it to overtime, but I think he'd prefer to get that takedown and just finish it.
I think you're right.
And here we go. 30
You're
seconds
right, 30
remaining.
seconds.
Again, still Eckenbarger pushing the action, even though he's up 6-5, does not want to make that call.
They're out.
A little bit of a shot by Bond. Eckenbarger knowing where he is on the mat, turning away from it. Now we're at 18 seconds.
Someone's gonna, if you're a Bond, you got to make a move here soon.
Certainly. Bit of a shot, but Eckenbarger, nice defense. He needs to just be careful to make sure that he's doing enough. Eckenbarger with the leg, working for the trip. And he scores another takedown as time expires.
Icing on the cake.
And that's going to give him his county championship at 138 pounds.
His first.
8-5. Ryder Eckenbarger over Anthony Bond.
Good match. Good match from these guys. Congratulations to him. Let's move on. 145-pound co-ed final now. We're going to see Ryan Oler of Liberty and Manchester Valley's Travis Green. Ryan Oler cruised into the final with a pin over Ty Strebe of Westminster to get to that final where he's been before. And Green, maybe the upset of the tournament earlier today, knocked off South Carroll's Manny Rodriguez late in that match. Got the takedown to go up 6-3, won it 6-3. Had the gym in a bit of a buzz, and that was fun to watch. So let's take a look at this championship match now. Ryan Oler of Liberty against Man Valley's Travis Green.
All right, so Ryan Oler is 33-1 this year, 119-24 overall. He is a 4-time county finalist.
Yes, one-time champ back in 2019.
And there he's got a nice whizzer for Green. And right back into, it was a takedown for, takedown for Oler,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
okay.
a nice escape from Green.
And I think Green might have inadvertently just gotten Oler in the mouth or the face area, it looked like. Just with sticking the hand out, sometimes that happens. So he's got some blood. Yep.
And we have blood time for Oler. Green, 38-3 this year, 93-11 overall. And he's now a 3-time county finalist.
Ryan Oler surpassed that 100-win mark, kind of joined that elite club earlier this season. He's been a really good wrestler for Liberty for his whole career. You know, he might not have a ton of postseason championships and things of that nature, but he has been a really solid wrestler for Liberty's program. And going to be interesting to see if he can add a second Carroll County championship to his resume. But like you said, Green, again, no slouch, unbeaten in the Westminster duels this year. Back in the during the January month, outstanding wrestler at those duels, and a 3-time county finalist.
Okay, Oler in on a single.
He liked that earlier too.
Had to spin through,
He
but
didn't actually get it though. Nope, only had one
Just
foot
out
in,
of
right?
bounds.
You had to have both feet in to have that takedown,
Correct.
right? Yep.
just out of bounds. And looks like we're back to blood time for Ryan Oler.
During the blood times, Michael, if you're the one that's not being worked on, yeah, like we see here, we see Green take a little sip of water. Is there any, are the coaches at this stage, is there advice? Is there anything like that? Or is it just a matter of, hey, you keep doing what you're doing?
It's usually a reminder, stay within the game plan, make sure that we're maintaining focus.
Right.
That's what the officials are really spending a lot of their time doing right now. They want to ensure that their wrestler is prepared for everything they had said going in. They don't want to have to, reinvent things or get distracted.
Right. And at this stage of the tournament and the season, you're not going to change much here in the middle of the match. You've already come into this knowing what you want to do against your opponent. And if there happens to be a break in the action, as you can see here while the
right, now we're on cleanup time.
Right, yeah. Yep.
And this is not counting against Ryan Oler's blood time. You can see that it has already stopped at 4:19. He's had two stoppages for blood and only used 41 seconds.
Right. Of course, that cleanup time is important too. We want to have the mat sanitized. We don't
and also want to make sure it's dry so that someone doesn't slip on it.
Yep.
And here we go. We're right back in.
Yeah.
And there's Green working. He's got that whizzer again. And Oler's trying to control the hips, but until he can get that arm free, unless he can get a leg hooked, he's not going to have a takedown. And it looks like we're near out of bounds again.
So is the whizzer a defensive move, or is that a move you can score on?
It's more often a defensive move to try and prevent control of the hips.
Okay. I've heard many.
Still saying they're neutral. Okay,
Yeah,
I
they're out of bounds,
I thought Oler may have had the leg hooked in there before it, but officials obviously got a better view than I do.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I'll certainly give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not going to hold it against you.
Trying to work a shrug, but again, Oler's real confident working that head tie. trying to do a shrug, and then he's in on a single, but
He doesn't have
very
much of
good
a-
counter
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sprawl by Travis Green.
I was just going to ask, when you splay those legs,
And you can see the official with a
Stalemate.
pretty quick stalemate, which I like the quick
yeah,
stalemate.
because there was no action going on at that moment.
Right, it looked like no one really had much of an opportunity to take advantage. Put them back on their feet. Let's see what they can do in their wrestling.
When you get that, when you get to that point, and Green was able to sort of open his legs a bit like that, that keeps Oler from being able to cinch up that leg and get that takedown. So that's good defensive wrestling in that stage.
Very much so.
Yeah. It's a pretty even match so far.
Yes.
And both guys sort of, it's funny, sometimes you watch these matches in the first period, it's sort of that feeling out moment.
Oh, Green with the single leg this time. And
Got
he
it,
got
too.
the takedown.
At the end of the period, too. A nice finish for Travis
Yep.
Green.
All right, that puts him up 3-2 at the end of one. All the choices. All right.
I think Oler went right to his
Yes,
his
he
hands.
did. He
Yeah,
immediately went. He took down right
did.
away.
He wasn't playing around. He has a game plan here, too. Oler was the county champion in 2019 at 113 pounds. Clearly a little bit heavier now, 3 years later, but like Michael said, 4-time county finalist.
Yes, and I think Green 2 years ago may have been at 106 pounds.
Okay.
He was certainly a lot lighter than he is now.
Right. Well, these guys do eat.
Yes, they
grow up
do,
a
and they
little bit.
grow. Adolescents will do that too.
Some of those guys stay at 106, 113, but it's rare. You usually see those guys bulk up and get a little bit heavier and
Right.
feel a little more comfortable in their weights than they are now, yeah.
Green is riding pretty well on the side. Going to spiral ride pretty well. And Oler's working to try and get control of the wrist so he can work up. Wants to try and free his hands and then work up to his feet.
Oler, like we mentioned a little while ago, trying to get 2 for the family in one day. His younger brother got a county
Okay,
title.
there's a stall call on Oler for not initiating action on bottom.
And so that's a warning, though, right?
That is
No points
just a
were
warning
awarded.
the first time.
Okay. But
If
now
he gets the second one,
right,
now
yes.
he's kind of, that puts him on the clock of make sure you're doing something to improve.
Right. I was going to say now
Trying
he's
to get a
on the
roll
clock.
through.
Yep. Maybe some back points for Green. Oh,
And
nope.
Green throwing in a
Didn't
leg. and-
materialize, though.
Yep.
Green's working to try to
Green's got a leg in and trying to work
turn Oler a bit.
a little bit, but
Oler wanted to be on the bottom, and Green sort of taking advantage of that
correct.
so far.
Neither one moving a lot right now. All right, Green's now a bit of a cross-body ride. Oler trying to pull off on the hip.
We mentioned stalemates earlier. That is discretion of the official. It's not going to happen
Yes.
right now. I'm just saying it's
Correct.
right.
Now he's going to watch to make sure that arm doesn't get pulled
Correct.
in too much of a position that makes it potentially dangerous.
Another reason why we have 2 officials, right?
And there are no back points. Looks like he ran out of time.
He did.
I think he may have been taking him towards his back. Travis Green's going to take bottom for the start of the third period. He's got a 3-2 lead over Ryan Oler.
Oler, I was going to say, sorry, Oler, I think, was saying that he had some blood on him, but the official decided let's keep going. Maybe it wasn't blood. It just looked like he was looking at his arm. But
Right.
yeah, 3-2 here, Green with that takedown late in that second period.
All right, Green's got the leg while he's on bottom, looking to try and reverse.
Oh, he can pop the head out, but Oler's got the, there
you
it
go.
is.
He's got his reversal. That's going to put Travis Green up 5-2. He's in really great shape right now.
He is.
He rode out the entire second period. He's got a 1:30 where he wants to try and ride out. Certainly wants to try and put him to his back, but he wants to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
What's the official doing there when he comes in for a second to say something to the guys?
He wants to remind them to make sure that they're pushing the action,
Okay.
make sure that they're working to improve.
Yep.
And he's also making sure he doesn't have, that Travis Green isn't across the throat. That's the other part. He's working. Officials are also focused on the safety of the wrestlers.
Sure.
While it's a brutal sport, they still want to do it within the rules and ensure that it's safe.
Absolutely. A 5-2 lead as we approach under 1 minute to go in this third period.
So Oler's going to need some kind of big activity moving in the next 45 seconds if he wants to get another county title. But it looks like Green might have I feel like
Inside
we said this
track on his
before,
first-
a cradle locked up.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
He had it, but he let it go. But he's just working to make sure that he can turn.
30 seconds now, and Green looks like he's got the inside track to his first career county championship. Also a perennial finalist, too. So these guys both
Yes.
Know what it takes to get to this round. 20 seconds now to go. Oler not in a position to try to do much of anything right now.
Not too much now.
He can get to his feet.
And now we're under 10 seconds to go. And now it looks Travis Green is going to get his first county championship.
Sure is.
And it's going to be of the 5-2 final score. And there you go. There is your 145-pound champion from Manchester Valley, Travis Green.
Only the second loss this season for Ryan Oler. Good match. Green was the aggressor there in that second period, too, like you mentioned, and was able to score some points, get the county title.
And Travis Green doing that, I believe, is the number 3 seed in the tournament, knocking off both the number 1 and number 2.
Very impressive.
So good for him.
Yeah, very impressive. It's on to 152. Jake Boog, another Manchester Valley wrestler, is in the final, and he's going to go up against Brady Forte of Winners Mill. Here's Boog finishing off his technical fall win in the semifinal round against Century's Joey Orsagna to get to that final for Jake Boog. And Brady Forte did his by a pin over Caden Cyrus of South Carroll. So we've got Jake Boog and Brady Forte getting ready for the 152-pound final. Let's go to it.
All right.
Off the bat, I want to say I like Brady Forte's gold Winners Mill singlet. Now a little non-traditional, but now he's in some trouble.
There's Boog right with the cradle and right to his back.
Boog taking the South Carroll approach here.
Yes. And got a quick 3-point near fall, puts him up 5-2 with 25 seconds into the match.
He watched his teammate Travis Green do it and said, I want to get out there and add one to the ledger here.
Forte trying to get his hips away. Boog following incredibly well.
Boog, another outstanding wrestler for the Mavericks too, right, Michael?
Yes, and another one of the brother combinations
That's
we're going to
correct.
talk about in wrestling. He was a state qualifier 2 years ago. Brady Forte was second at the Falcon Invitational. He was 24-6 this year. Boog was 36-2.
Very good, sparkling record.
Yeah.
Forte, no slouch, but
All right, he got his escape. Missed on the takedown. Looks like he just missed
give him
getting
the
that. Nah, it looks like he just missed getting the takedown because he went out of bounds.
he did give him the 2.
Oh, okay.
It did seem like they were out, but I think maybe the referee decided to control before they went out of bounds.
Okay.
Yep.
So it should be 7-2. Looks like they're going to, or 7-1. They're going
Yeah,
to fix the
that's
score.
official. Yeah, he's walking over to fix it. Yep.
And Jake Boog looks like he might, all right, stepping over with the Turk. He's got Brady Forte on his back. So he's got probably
anyway.
2 more back points coming.
Yep. I see the 2 signal. There it is.
Yep, there you go. Now he's up 9-1.
Fast start for Jake Boog here in the 152-pound final.
1 minute and 30 seconds in, he scored 9 points already and really dominated this. Forte came out aggressive and got taken down right away.
Both of these guys, football players in the fall. Jake Boog was the quarterback for Manchester Valley's football team. Brady Forte, one of Winners Mill's standout running backs. It is a nice transition a lot of times, the football player to the wrestling mat. Makes for a good transition if the coaches, encourage and support that from their athletes.
And there we are at the end of 1. Jake Boog with a 9-1 lead. And Boog defers.
Forte's got to catch his breath after what just
Yeah.
hit him in that first period.
Forte is going to take down.
Yep. Is that transition an easy one sometimes? I know we've always heard about the football player who then wrestles. It's easier said than done, of course. It's a different sport, I get that. But do you see a lot of that when you have the successful football player that goes to the wrestling mat?
I think you see a good bit of it.
Okay.
It's a lot of times it's going to be weight management. And there's Boog
Right.
putting Forte right on his back again. And with the pinfall.
An early pin, a quick pin in the second period for Jake
So
Boog.
2 minutes and 14 seconds into the final, Jake Boog with the county championship at 152 pounds.
And another one for Manchester Valley. Good showing. And that was a whirlwind match right there. It was Jake Boog put the buzzsaw on him pretty quick.
Yes.
We're on to 160 now on the co-ed side. It's AJ Rodriguez of South Carroll and Connor Ryan, again, Manchester Valley. Rodriguez dominating Jackson Richmond in the semifinal round, 21-5 tech fall, finishing them off. And Connor Ryan was able to get a pin against Bodie Griffin of Francis Scott Key, and that's how Connor advanced to the championship round. One of 7 finalists for Manchester Valley. AJ Rodriguez, one of 8 finalists for South Carroll. AJ is a two-time county champion. He's going for number 3. Let's take a look at the 160-pound co-ed final.
As you mentioned, AJ's a two-time county champ going for his 3rd. He's 34-0 this year, another South Carroll, undefeated South Carroll wrestler. He's 94-2 in his career, and he was the state champ 2 years ago as a 9th grader.
Yep.
He's going up against Connor Ryan, who's 29-12 on the year, and 33 overall career wins. And there's AJ Rodriguez with the early takedown, putting him up 2-0.
Again, having maybe a little bit of clock issues, but. Okay, now he called an illegal hold on Rodriguez.
Yes,
Was that
he
just
did.
pulling the arm back?
I'm not quite sure what that one was, but it puts him, makes it a 2-1 lead for Rodriguez.
Okay. Yeah, they had to fix the clock. I think the clock was having some trouble starting on the right on the whistle of the official, but they're going to figure it out. Should be 2-1.
Yep. All right, now they've got the clock and the scoreboard correct. Rodriguez is going to immediately choose neutral, so no time off the clock, and they go right back up, give the 1-point escape to Ryan, which makes it 2-2.
AJ won his first county title at 126 pounds in 2020. Like Michael said, the year he won the state championship. In 2021, he was the 145-pound champ. He goes for the all-white singlet at 160 pounds, and he's trying to take down Connor Ryan and give South Carroll another county championship in his 3rd.
There's his takedown.
Yep.
And immediately puts him in a tilt towards his back.
Now this tilt is in line for a pin.
Could be.
At least it's close.
And there it is.
Wow. Just as we talked earlier about that tilt, sometimes it's for back points only. AJ Rodriguez was able to get his for a pin.
57 seconds into the match, AJ Rodriguez picks up his 3rd county championship.
Another buzzsaw type of match there for South Carroll. And speaking of the county finals, we're going to go back to the girls' side again. We are on to the 145-pound final. It's Gabby McLeod of Winters Mill and Brinley Tozer of Westminster. Let's go take a look at their championship match on the girls' side of the Carroll County Varsity Wrestling Tournament.
All right.
I think both girls here, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, they're both first-time wrestlers?
Yeah, Gabby McLeod's sporting a 4-3 record, and Brinley Tozer has a 4-8 record.
Okay.
Both working with their coaches this year, trying to improve, putting themselves in position. I know they're also going to be at the regionals next week.
Yes.
So it should be again, just continuing to grow the sport of girls wrestling.
And both girls maybe, just decided to come out and give it a try and were intrigued by it. And obviously, they've gotten themselves in a position to wrestle for a county championship, but also, again, the experience of being in this sort of environment because they are going to do this again next weekend.
Early stalemate called from the official. Tozer was in on a shot, but he determined that neither wrestler could improve her position. So we're back on neutral.
Maybe having a clock issue again. They're going to try to figure it out, but no scoring yet here.
There we go. Now we can see that the clock's moving. I think it had just frozen
might
for
have
us.
frozen on the Daktronics, yeah.
Again, working the tie from up top. This is one of those matches, which I kind of referenced earlier, where neither wrestler, I think, wants to make a mistake, so they're being a little cautious, trying to feel out their opponent.
And if you're new to
time.
I was going to say, if you're new to the sport, you don't want to make a mistake. You want to make sure you've been listening to what your coach has been teaching you and work on your fundamentals here. Someone wants to try to be the aggressor, but if they're going to hand fight here, this is the way to do it. Like lock up in the beginning and kind of feel your opponent's tendencies, so to speak. And looked like McLeod wanted to go in for a leg there, and Tozer wouldn't let her have it.
Yeah, a little bit of a front headlock with Tozer's working, and then McLeod just driving right to her. Did she get the takedown?
She did, I think. Or maybe time ran out.
So you got to.
Well, she had a couple more seconds. It looked like she could have had her in command to pin her.
Yeah. Okay. Just ran out of time. So Gabby McLeod wins the coin flip, and she's going to take down right away.
She did. So it does look like it was no score. So we are scoreless here as we go into the second period. John Lowe, I saw, got up, just wanted to know what was going on, and official told him nothing, time had ran out. So, oh.
Tozer trying to
Tozer,
work
I thought for a second.
Half Nelson.
Yeah, I thought she had her for a second
McLeod
there.
immediately looks like she's going to come out on top.
Got her. Got the reversal.
Yep. Had a nice wing roll type move where she just pulled down hard on that half Nelson and then stepped over the hip.
Tozer went for it first. She looked like she wanted to be the scorer there first, and McLeod.
That puts McLeod up 2-0.
Yeah, McLeod took the points right there. So the first points of this match go to Gabby McLeod. Third, like Michael had mentioned, or if he didn't, I will. They were both third at the Falcon tournament this year. Oh, there's a reversal.
Yeah, there's a reversal for Tozer, right to her back. And
oh,
Brindley Tozer is
Tozer.
your 145-pound county champion for the girls tournament.
She'll take that
here in Carroll
surprise.
County.
I don't think Gabby McLeod knew what was coming there. Tozer was able to just reverse that, get her on her back.
Yes, she was.
That was pretty impressive. Congratulations, Westminster County champion there on the girls' side. It is time for the boys, the co-ed, 170-pound final. It's Rylan Moose of South Carroll and Liam Weeks of Francis Scott Key. Four wrestlers in this bracket, so it was just right to the semifinals, and Moose pinned Ryan Schuyler of Century to advance to the final, where he's going for county title number 3. Weeks outlasted Eric Feck of Liberty 3-0 in their semifinal match, which means Weeks and Moose for the 170-pound final. Like I mentioned, Rylan Moose going for county championship number 3. He won his first one at 138 pounds in 2020. He won his second one in 2021 at 170 pounds. He's back at 170 pounds this year. Let's see if he can get county title number 3, Moose against Weeks.
Again, one of those feeling out kind of things.
We've talked about South Carroll this year, Michael, and you mentioned that they've got a handful of what we like to call in the wrestling hammers.
Yeah.
This is one of their hammers, Rylan Moose.
Yes, he is. Immediately snaps down the head, right in, then just spins behind, and he scores the takedown early.
He's looking for a pin quick, too.
He certainly is.
At least he was there with that
Looks like he's trying to lock up an arm bar.
locked in arm, yeah. Nope.
And
He
right
didn't
into
turn
a
him.
tilt.
Trying for this quickest pin, maybe. Now, Moose
I think he's comfortable with that tilt.
really accomplished wrestler already in his young career,
He's
too.
got 2 back points, but it's going to put him up 4-0. Yeah, Moose is 30-3 on the year, 82-15 overall. He was a state placer 2 years ago as a freshman. And Liam Weeks coming on strong right now, but he's 8-10 on the year. He did finish second at the FSK holiday tournament.
Moose, like we mentioned earlier, part of that South Carroll dual state championship team, and a big reason why they get those bonus points.
Yes.
Moose is the kind of guy who wants those pins and usually goes out and gets them.
Looking right to control the arm.
Under a minute now to go in the first period, and like you had mentioned, Moose, the aggressor here early, that South Carroll strategy, and he's up 4-0.
Yes. Really controlling the hips. I mean, just very steady. And working to that tilt again.
He does like that tilt.
I see a lot of tilts from 170-pounders.
And ones that end in a pin.
He got his
And
pin
there's
from
one
it.
right there. The crowd gives him the Moose cheer, and that is a 3rd county championship.
Now 1 minute 33 seconds into the match,
For Rylan Moose.
gets his 3rd county title.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Rylan. We head to the 182-pound weight class of the co-ed bracket. It's Connor Kalarick of Westminster against Craig Love of Winters Mill. Again, this bracket with only 4 guys, so it was semifinals, and Kalarick pinned Jonathan Bolt of Manchester Valley to get to his final. Craig Love outlasted Dylan Rubin 11-4, a decision to get Love to the final. Kalarick was this county champion last year at 182 pounds at 2021. He's going for a 2nd straight county title. Craig Love stands in his way. Let's take a look at the 182-pound final. It's going to be Connor Kalarick and Craig Love in 182 pounds here at Westminster High School. Let's take a look.
Love is 20-7 this year.
Okay.
And that is his overall career record.
Okay, first year
Kalarick is 32-1 on the year, just that 1 loss, and 61-22 overall.
Wow.
And as you mentioned, he was the county champ at this weight last year. Westminster has some strong upper weights.
They do.
They're in some good shape there.
We'll see another one in a few matches' time.
Nice
Caden
little
Bryan, but
fireman's carry that puts
was.
Kalarick up 2-0.
if we had the bingo card, that's the first fireman's carry mention of the finals. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is true.
We've already said cradle and tilt enough times. Time for a
Up
fireman's
to
carry.
his feet, and Kalarick taking him right back down. No chance for a stall call there.
No, absolutely not.
And then he's got that half, and he's trying to work from it. Love back on his feet. And Kalarick picks him up and takes him down. Takes him down with control.
Kalarick, obviously an accomplished wrestler and a county champ, but maybe the most surprising, one-loss guy of the year. You don't maybe think of he is a name that you don't hear right away when you think about the most accomplished wrestler, but obviously the record stands for itself.
Right.
Ooh. I thought maybe Love was
trying to come
yeah.
I was trying to turn off on it, but Kalarick then picked him up and takes him to his back.
He had control there, the right, so no
Yes, he
takedown
did.
there. Yep. But he now in position for some back points, possibly.
He's got that half and working to the back.
He's got him in some trouble.
And
there's
there you
the
go.
pin. Back.
1 minute, 23 seconds into the match, Connor Kalarick wins his second straight county championship at 182 pounds.
Puts Love on his back and goes back to back. How about that? Congratulations to Connor Kalarick.
Also
May
a
have
little
knocked the
slow
wind
getting
out
up.
of.
I think
Yeah.
officials
Yeah.
and the coaches want to make sure he's all right.
Sure, may have just got the wind knocked out of him. Hope he's okay. But congrats to Connor Kalarick, two-time county champion now from Westminster, and both of them have come at the 182-pound weight class. We're going back over to the girls' side now. 170 pounds. Deborah Flores of Winners Mill and Jacqueline Martinez of Westminster, a city rivalry matchup here in the 170 pounds. Let's take a look.
All right, Martinez of Westminster is 5-5 on the year. She did place first at the Winners Mill tournament.
Okay.
I think they were at different weights.
Okay.
Or maybe not. I'm not sure. Flores last year was a county champion.
Yes.
This year she took third at the Falcon Invite,
Okay.
and she was a state qualifier 2 years ago.
One of those girls that helped establish the program, or at least helped it grow, like we've been
Yes.
talking about. She's been the mainstay there for John Lowe's side.
And Flores is 7-3 on the year, and she's 14-8 for her career.
Okay.
You'll notice that and there's Flores with an early two-point takedown. You'll notice that the girls' records are smaller numbers than the co-ed records. A lot of it is because so few teams have
less
girls,
opportunity.
Fewer opportunities,
yeah.
So few teams have girls wrestling.
Right.
I know a lot of our Carroll County teams have really made a push for it.
They have.
And we certainly encourage that. I think it's been great. It's been great for our students and great for the sport.
And like we said earlier, it speaks to the fact that Winners Mill is able to host a tournament of just girls and have enough to have a tournament like that. Does show to the growth of the wrestling.
Deb Flores with
She got both legs in, right?
legs in, and
Yeah.
looks like she's working a half Nelson. Maybe to a power half. Certainly not taking it easy.
Martinez trying to peel that arm off, but when you're in that position, might be tough.
Correct.
I can hear John Lowe. The unmistakable voice. Sometimes he'll do it in Spanish. Sometimes he'll do it in English. But
Flores has Martinez on her back.
she's in the position to pin here.
Yes, she is. But Martinez bridging pretty well.
She is. Trying to work to
like
that side of the circle, but
Looks like she turned over.
you
Got
see how
off of that.
Flores pulled her back in a little bit too, though. As we get ready,
Yep,
ready
looks
for
like
the
she may have a cradle locked up.
end of
We
the
haven't
first
said that in a
period.
while. And she
She can quite turn
had
her
the
though.
cradle but lost it. She got her 3 back
Oh, and she
points
didn't
and
go
was
for a
able to
reversal.
maintain
Yeah,
control.
Yeah.
Nice work
I thought
by
for a
Deb
second
Flores.
Martinez was going to get a reversal out of that, but Flores, like you said, held on.
At the end of one, Flores with the 5-0 lead.
Coach Lowe wants to ask him to check the
I think
score.
he was asking about double back points. And he's getting the explanation that it was all one continuous move.
Flores won that flip, so it's her choice. And she chose top. I may have had that backward. I thought Flores won it, but she still might have won it. All I know is this.
To start the second period, Martinez is going to be on bottom and
That's
Flores
it.
is on top.
That's why I brought you into this. I need that expertise from you, Michael.
Looks like
Thank
she's
you.
got a cradle.
Right back to that cradle.
Couldn't quite get it locked up. Started to take her back, and it looks like the grip slipped a little bit.
It's evident
But,
that this
she's
is how
got
Flores
it.
wants
She's
to
just
score.
not in a real good position to try and finish
She's
it.
gotta be careful here.
She does need to be careful before
Martinez can pop out of it.
And she's turned it over.
Yeah. Well, Martinez does a
Doesn't
good
look
job
like-
of rolling out of those cradles.
Yes, and she's fighting that off pretty well.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Flores started to turn her, but could not keep her for the 2
Correct.
count. Only got a 1 count, so we're
Correct.
going to stick at 5-0.
Still off to a really good start in this match, but Martinez, with her ability to stay out of the major points here, is in the match.
Yes, she is. Oh, might have a cradle locked up yet again. Yes, she does, and she's turned her to her back again. But it slipped off again. I think she got a 2 count, though.
Martinez is slippery,
Yes.
but Flores is in control.
Yep, she got a 2 count, so she got her 2 back points. That's going to put her up 7-0. Flores is dominating the match.
Absolutely.
She's simply not able to put
Right.
Martinez away.
Right. She's in line for the major decision differential here soon. Right now it's at 7-0. That's still a decision, but she's in control certainly as we go under 40 seconds.
Looks like she's trying to take that head to the knee for, nah, she's kind of
cradle?
giving up on the cradle. Oh, nope, looks like she may be going right back to the cradle. If that's your comfort move, then
There you
keep
go.
going for it.
And also, if it's there for you, why not take it?
Correct.
Yeah. She's trying to go a cross face there to get around her. That's not working,
Yes.
so she can maybe try to start over here. She's in control, though, Michael, right, because she's got the legs hooked underneath. We can't see it right now, but, well, she had one anyway.
Yes.
That makes Martinez's ability to get out tougher because you don't have that ability to get your legs under you.
Correct. Taking away parts of the base and then taking away her base by keeping her flat.
Right.
Is such a huge thing. All right.
End of the period.
Yeah, we are at the end of the period. And that choice,
I think it's
I think
Martinez's
it is
choice.
Martinez's choice. So Flores had taken it down. And Martinez has decided to go top, which she's not been in that position yet. So I think she thinks maybe she stands a better chance,
chance to
since
score,
she's been
right.
taken down
Right.
and not been able to get away.
Right, and spent the entirety of the match rolling around on the back.
Correct.
So why not start out on top? Maybe she can turn her. She does have her an ability to turn her here.
Yes, she does. And she's got her on her back.
But she
Flores rolls through.
Flores was able to
She
roll
got
right
2 back
around. Oh, they
points.
did give her 2 back points and then a
And
reversal.
Flores gets the
Okay.
reversal.
Nice,
So
nice stretch there,
that was a trade-off of 2 for 2.
and didn't help Martinez much, except it kept her on the shutout.
And Flores trying to turn her, but could not. But tried to turn her before she had the cradle locked up. Needs to be just a little more patient.
Yes.
Lock up the cradle first, and then do the turn.
She knows how to get that cradle. She just has having a little trouble. And credit to Martinez, of course, but she's had a little bit of trouble cinching it all the way up and getting her in that cradle position. But
Correct.
that's what she wants to go with. That was the strategy here. And it's so far working out for Deb Flores.
Martinez trying to turn and grab the leg, but Flores is controlling the hips and keeping Martinez down. And it looks like she's got that cross face and might be going for the cradle again.
This just in, spoiler alert, we're going for a cradle. Yeah. You can see her sort of which arm she wants to get under to try to get that positioning. But, look, Martinez is doing a good job kind of staying in a ball there and
Yes.
not giving her that arm.
Martinez is working. Both
She
wrestlers
is.
are working to
They
improve.
are. Yeah, they are. Flores has control. She's going to pick the ankle there.
She's going to try and pick it and
Turn
perhaps
her,
try and
trying
do a
to turn
Turk,
her,
but
yeah.
didn't quite get there. So now she's going to go back. Looks like she's working a
half.
power half right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
from the
She's gotta get her
on the
legs
right
around.
side. She can push that head away. Nope,
Right.
doesn't look like that's going to. Now she's going to
No.
switch to a power half to the left side.
Well, look, here's the deal. She's going to ride this out, and there's about 10 seconds left, and Deb Flores is going to win a Carroll County Championship at 170 pounds.
She is. So after third place at the Falcon Invitational, she's going to take first place at the Carroll County Championships at 170 pounds.
A little better piece of hardware there for
And
Deb
there's
Flores.
your county
There
champion,
you
Deb
go.
Flores of Winters Mill High
Yep.
School, and you can see Coach John Lowe in the corner cheering that one on.
Congratulations to Deb Flores, county champ at Winters Mill. See the handshake and the hand raised there. And we are going to now switch back over. It's co-ed time again, 195 pounds. It's Crew Boog of Manchester Valley, one of the other Boog brothers in the finals, against Gabe Dell of Francis Scott Key. Let's take a look and see how these two gentlemen got to the final. Crew Boog with a pin in the second period against Matthew Pauley of Winters Mill. You can see Boog here get the pin. He moves on to the final. Meanwhile, Gabe Dell wrestled Gennaro Marchini of South Carroll, another one of those guys that helped him win the duels last week. But Dell was able to get a pin in the third period, in order to advance to the final, where he will face Crew Boog of Manchester Valley. It's Boog against Dell, 195 pounds in the co-ed bracket of the Carroll County Wrestling Championship Finals. Let's take a look.
Boog's a 9th grader. He's 29-8, obviously this year and overall. And Gabe Dell is 16-5 on the year, and he's 23-10 overall. He did take, Dell took 2nd place at the Francis Scott Key tournament.
So Crew is the little brother of Jake Boog, and he outweighs him by about 50 pounds.
Yes, he
It
does.
happens sometimes, right?
It certainly does.
Also Crew with the sweet bleach blonde mullet. A staple of the wrestling community as we get to the championship weekends. I know you have some, not you personally, but your guys, and you used to be a coach. The dyeing of the hair was sort of the sort of the year-end way to sort of solidify yourselves and go into the state, region, county tournaments with that like unity.
Correct. Something to be just a little bit different.
Wrestlers are different. That is true.
Right now, kind of feel each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
Determining, getting ready for position to work on their offense.
Now this bracket wasn't completely full, so there were only 5 wrestlers in here. So there were some buys in the first couple rounds. Paulie did wind up and wrestle back and get 3rd place at 195 pounds. But anyway, Dell and Boog both had buys to get to the semifinals, and then both pinned their way into the finals. Winding down.
A little bit of a collar tie.
Right.
30 seconds remaining in this first period.
The heavyweight guys, and this is not any sort of stereotype or whatever, but it seems like they do a little more hand fighting to sort of see which one of these guys they can throw or get a leg. The littler guys of lighter weights do have the ability to get those takedowns like these guys are trying here.
Shot there from Dell, and then the front headlock from Boog. Trying to spin behind.
Yeah, different style, but same fundamentals.
He's going to throw him by,
there it is.
and nice throw by, which puts Crew Boog up 2-0.
He snapped around there very fast to get the
Yes, he
takedown.
did.
Yeah. That's how the first period ends.
Here we are at the end of 1 with Crew Boog with a 2-0 lead.
So it's
over
funny,
Gabe Dell.
after a minute and 50-some seconds of locked up, right like that, boom, you get down to a single or a takedown, and Boog's able to snap around him. So we're going to go neutral here.
I think Dell feels comfortable at neutral. He thought he had a good shot in, just couldn't finish it.
Right.
And Dell kind of backing up. I think he's going to need to be careful to make sure he doesn't get hit with a stalling call.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants to be careful not to work the edge the entire time.
Boog had a chance there with the double leg to.
He did. I think he
They were a little bit
simply
out.
was a little
Yep.
too far out for that positioning
Correct.
to work.
Correct.
Dell trying a quick shot off the whistle, or at least a half shot, but didn't clear the hand, which allowed Boog to kind of just defend it with relative ease.
Gabe Dell, one of the bright spots of Francis Scott Key's lineup this year. They've had a couple guys who have had really good seasons.
Yes.
Zach Kinlock, one of them earlier. There have been others as well, but Gabe Dell, Bodie Griffin from earlier in the round has had a fine regular season. Oh, Boog right to the offense there.
Very, just a solid wrestler. You can,
Yeah.
I mean, he's very comfortable
Yep.
on his feet in this position.
For a freshman too, that's impressive to see. Especially he's 195 pounds, but also that he's a little green, if you will, in terms of varsity experience, but he certainly knows what he's doing out there on the mat.
Yes. Certainly controlling the hips, being heavy on the head right now.
Yeah, because this is going to be a tough. Obviously, look, you're wrestling a guy who's the same weight as you. You can't just go out there and flip him around and do what you want. You're going to have to be smart about it. You're going to have to get him on the, like you mentioned, to get a leg in and work the hips and the half Nelson or whatever it might be. It's not going to come easy to you, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yep. Boog is certainly
4-0
controlling.
lead, though. Yeah.
Yep.
I think they're going to be out of bounds. Oh, nope, guess not. Under 30 to go here.
Yep. Looks like he just missed getting near fall criteria. Looks like he didn't have him there long enough.
Right. Things winding down here in the finals of the Carroll County Wrestling Championships. 4 matches remain after this one in this year's finals. What's the next weekend, Michael, as we wait this period out? Regionals, what's the status in terms of who gets to go to regionals this year?
Yeah, everyone gets to go to regionals this year. They're going to be broken up into smaller regions than they're used to having. So they'll just be, for example, South Carroll, Liberty, and FSK are going to be in the 1A North. Westminster will be in the 3A East.
Okay.
and the remainder of the schools, so that's Winters Mill, Manchester Valley, and Century, are all going to be in the 2A West.
Okay, so spread out.
They're all spread out. They're all being hosted in the county. Westminster's hosting, South Carroll's hosting, and Manchester Valley's hosting.
So wrestling fans have a chance to go watch some more wrestling.
Yes, they do. So Gabe Dell took down here, and Crew Boog wants to be back on his feet, so he gave away the escape before the period begins. He prefers to be in the neutral position. He likes his offense from neutral.
And then just to wrap that up, the top, so we go to regionals, everyone gets to compete that wants to enter. How do you get to states?
The top two, the two finalists are going to be the ones who go to the state tournament.
Of each weight class.
Of each weight class.
And that will be
There's Boog with the takedown to his back.
2 and a position to pin here maybe for Boog.
As long as he can keep his, okay, turned him over.
Yeah, Dell was able to get away, but Boog's going to get some more points out of this for sure.
Correct. I think he got, it's like may only been 2 back points.
Yeah.
I think I only saw 2, although it was close.
You mentioned longtime coach John Lowe. I can see longer time coach Bill Hyson of Francis Guy Key, one of the good guys you'll ever meet, and certainly a champion for Carroll County Wrestling and Francis Guy Key as well.
Yeah, he got the 2 back points there. Crew Boog in the third period, minute 12 remaining. He's up 8-1, looking for his first county championship.
He is, as a 9th grader. It looks like he wants to, again, like Michael mentioned, go to that neutral. Oh, okay.
He was looking at
I thought he
potentially
was
an
going to do
optional
it,
start,
but
I think his coach has advised against that.
Yeah, stay on top, be the aggressor. You know what you're doing here. And the goal here, look, that you can tell he wants to turn him.
Yes.
We got 1 minute to go in this match. And one of the cooler names in the finals, Crew Boog, is 50 seconds away from his first ever, first in first try, Carroll County champion. Gabe Dell doing his best to stay off of his back. But as Michael's been mentioning, Boog in control here.
Yes, he is. He's got that 8-1 lead.
Pretty
got
impressive.
30 seconds remaining.
Yep.
He's going to cap off his freshman year with a county championship.
Give him a little momentum heading into regionals.
Absolutely.
Likely a top seed in his bracket.
He'll certainly be one of the seeded wrestlers in good shape.
Right.
Based on having finished being a county champ.
Correct.
And official calling potentially dangerous.
Yep.
Want to make sure that, again, looking out for safety
no
first
points
and
there,
foremost.
just a little warning.
Just stop it and restart from referee's position.
Yep. Boog still has the advantage there. Nothing's lost. And Boog will just ride this out, I think. Or maybe get some more back points.
I think he may have gotten 2 back points.
More.
Yes, he did. That's going to give him a major decision.
That's nice. A little extra bonus team points there as well.
Yep.
And start to finish, dominant performance. Crew Boog, 195 co-ed champion, Carroll County Wrestling Tournament. Man Valley adds another champion to their ledger here today. Congratulations to Crew Boog with a win in the 195-pound final. We're going back to the girls' side, the 190-pound final. And it's a pair of Winters Mill wrestlers.
It is.
Lily Ulmer Glass and Alyssa Glenn, 2 Falcons, going to fight it out for the girls' 190 Carroll County Championship. Let's go to the match.
All right, Lily Ulmer Glass took 3rd at the Falcon Invite, and Alyssa Glenn took 4th at the Falcon Invite.
And if they were in the same weight class, they know how this drill works.
Yes. So these are our 2 190-pounders.
It's a little rare that you see Winters Mill, you see, Carroll County against Carroll County in a final, but it can happen in this girls bracket.
Right.
It's not the case in Varsity, but it can happen in JV as well.
Correct.
I know last year you guys did it a little differently and you let more than one enter because of the circumstances, but it's kind of nice to see that that hey, someone's got to win this match, and at least it's Winters Mill if you're a Winters Mill fan here. So
certainly, one of the things we work to, especially for the girls tournament, is really working to ensure that we're increasing participation.
Yes.
So that's just similar to what we do with the junior varsity tournament, having more than one participant per weight class if that's what they have.
Right.
So I'll have to be honest. I don't know who has which color here.
I don't either. I'm sorry. I should have seen who was green and who was red. Here's what we can tell you: Winters Mill's up 2-0.
That's true. Over, and Winters Mill is down 2-0.
You're right.
I'll
I'll be second honest here. This is going to be tough to see who wins. I'm not really going to be able to give you a clear idea on who's victorious.
Working towards a turn. 30 seconds remaining in this first period. And back points.
Let's see if, and I believe
There's
that
our
is
fall.
Lily Olmerglass, who was on top there, and she was able to secure that pin. And so Lily Olmerglass with a hug there from her teammate, but Lily Olmerglass, the Carroll County champion at 190 pounds.
Good for her.
For Winners Mill.
And good,
yeah,
and
it's
good for
to
her
see that-
teammate, Alyssa
yeah,
Glenn.
Absolutely.
And great to see Coach go out and congratulate both his wrestlers.
Right. A nice little practice in sportsmanship there, and obviously a lesson in as well there when you got two teammates going up against it. It's never fun, I'm sure. You don't want to have to wrestle a teammate in a varsity county match like that, but congratulations to the Winners Mill ladies on that one. We are back over to the co-ed again. We are at 2:20 now. Manchester Valley's Kobe Pennywell and Westminster's Randy Green will be battling it out for the final. Pennywell with a first period pin over Jacob Dell of Francis Guy Key to advance to the finals for Manchester Valley, another finalist in Man Valley. And Randy Green decked Nick Ellis late in this match. 5 seconds to go in the match, and Green was able to get a pin over Nick Ellis. And so that makes Pennywell and Green battling it out for the 220-pound championship. Let's go to the match. Pennywell, Michael, just a really, really impressive year for Manchester Valley at 220.
Yeah, he was 36-4 this year. He's 40-6 overall. Randy Green's 21-2 on the year. Has fewer matches. It took him a little while for those weight to get down after football season, I believe.
Right.
He's 42-26 overall, and of course with Westminster having such a strong heavyweight, there wasn't a spot for him other than 220.
Right.
So Randy had to take his time to get there,
Sure.
but during that time he's lost only 2 matches.
Yeah. Yeah, so both of these guys off to having really good seasons.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they wrestled during the regular season.
They did not.
Yeah.
They did not match up. Both
Yeah.
were undefeated in county competition.
Okay.
Kobe went 6-0 and Randy went 4-0.
Got it. Right. Obviously, like you said, Randy didn't get a chance to wrestle every single match. My guess is he weighed much more than 220 during the football season. One of the linemen for the football team, so he probably had to cut some weight there. And you mentioned that as well. You know, you got to do it the safe way. It does take some time. You can't just drop 25 pounds in a week and be ready to go. It does take a little time. So.
So right now, like we said, but being a little cautious, wanting to be careful, especially with the upper weights. You're not going to see quite as many shots most of the time. Want to make sure that they're going to see a good bit more upper body work.
Right.
Because they don't want that. They don't want the weight coming down on them.
Yeah. No. Sure. Sure.
Really a tight tie, which is going to probably prevent a good bit of offense.
You'd think somebody would do like a shrug or something of that
Certainly.
nature.
As
But
a coach, I wanted more of a head-to-head than ear-to-ear
is this
positioning.
Have we reached bear hug territory yet in the weight classes? That you always like to see those in the
Could
heavier
be.
weights.
And, all right. Red has all the choices. That's going to be Kobe Pennywell, who's going to take down right away. He started to defer. His coaches reminded him he'd rather take down. That first point could become important later in the match.
His coach reminded him, no, you don't want to do that. You want to do this.
Yes.
Hey, heat of the moment sometimes. Good to have your coach not too far away from
Absolutely.
you.
Well,
And just like that.
And he immediately is out and gotten his escape, and they're back on their feet.
Coach Dave Dodson speaking some words of wisdom to Kobe Pennywell. Yeah, should be 1-0.
Yep.
I think the referee just make sure they signal it over there on the scoreboard. Pennywell's in the green ankle band. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's in the red ankle band.
Yeah,
so he should
Pennywell's, it should be 1-0 red,
1-0
30
red.
seconds into the second period.
Yep. They're neutral, so they're both working to try to get a takedown.
Again, really working the head on each other.
You were saying
Trying to snap down potentially. I'm sorry?
No, I was just going to say, you said you don't like it when they're ear to ear. Is that a bad position?
I just don't think you get locked in tight and there's not a lot of mobility.
Okay.
I think it reduces the amount of offense you can do.
Okay.
I tend to think of ear to ear as a very defensive
So
position.
you want to be forehead to forehead if you're that close?
Correct.
Okay. Of course, watching out for the headbutt.
Certainly.
Right. But no, I think I got you. That way, you've got more arm ability
Yes.
if you're just touching foils.
And looks like Randy went for the throw.
I think Kobe
Couldn't
caught.
quite get it.
Yeah.
He went for a bit of a duck under throw. And still
Wait a minute.
nothing yet, and the officials are being cautious.
Yeah. Well, Randy would have to pop his head out there to have any kind of control,
Correct.
right?
And
Ooh.
there's Kobe Pennywell with a nice
Yep.
takedown as Green tried to spin out
Yeah, I
through
think he
it.
had to make a move at some point there and realize where you don't want to get caught, so Pennywell took advantage of it.
That puts Pennywell up 3-0.
Well, he's high,
got
too,
both
on the-
legs in. He's very high.
Yeah,
But
So-
he is still controlling the hips.
he does. He was able to turn him up. Otherwise, you would have seen Green try to wriggle him off.
And 3 seconds remaining, and Kobe Pennywell is going to hold on
Yep.
through the end of the second period up 3-0.
Still anybody's match here, though.
Absolutely.
And Green will take down to start the third period, so a position to maybe get that escape and then try to tie the match.
Correct. He was close to getting a throw.
He was.
Just didn't quite finish it, which Pennywell countered incredibly well.
Pennywell looks like a good, 220 size guy. He's got the height.
Sure.
He's got it evenly spaced out, muscle and everything like that. He's not just
He's going to have to work off of his base.
right.
He's trying to do a little bit of a roll through, but
Nothing against Green. He's just giving up some size is what I was trying to say.
Right.
Yeah. And Pennywell has the 3-0 lead.
he's going to have to work up from here. If he wants to try and get back into this match. He's going to have to get off his hips. He's a little too flat. He's up a little bit now.
He's got 90
Pennywell's
seconds.
trying to break him down yet
Yeah,
again.
to try to get something.
Pennywell's riding pretty well.
Pick the ankle, and that'll give him the ability to maybe work the top a little bit.
Pennywell is certainly breaking him back down each time.
Yeah.
And Green is working back to his base, but he's not able to extend beyond getting to his knees.
Not allowed
He's
to
not able to get up. Okay, now he's got 1 foot up.
Yeah,
He's trying to
you're
turn
right.
out from that.
I was just going to say, not a lot of scoring, but with a minute left here.
He does have a
Pennywell
leg.
has had control, but there goes Green. Trying for a reversal.
Yeah. Well, that Pennywell might
got
be
the
able.
arm, though, yeah.
He does have that.
Oh, nah, I think Pennywell's still in control.
Yeah, he is. Green's got the leg, but
But his
Pennywell
yeah,
is
yeah.
on his back now. Nice counter by Green. Or excuse me, Green's on his back.
I gotcha.
Great counter by Pennywell.
Yep,
Excuse me.
That's okay.
And
Oh, it
he's
turns
got
into
the
a pin. Green had to try to make something
28
work there.
seconds remaining in the match.
Yeah, I think Green was trying to make something work there, down 3-0, and it just didn't quite work out for him. But that means Kobe Pennywell is the Carroll County champion at 228 pounds, gives Man Valley another win. We've got one more girls match to go in this Carroll County Wrestling Varsity Championships, and it's the 235-pound weight class. And once again, it's a pair of Winters Mill wrestlers. It's Roan McCulley and Hannah Haynes going at it as teammates. This time they're going to go at it as opponents in the 235-pound weight class. Let's take a look.
Hannah Haynes finished 4th at the Falcon Invite. Rowan McCauley finished 2nd, but Rowan is a returning county champ.
Okay. Again, it's going to be it's always tricky when you got the two teammates in here. Tough to know who is going to take advantage of this one. Of course, the clock hasn't started yet either, according to the scoreboard, but
I think that's probably a freezing thing.
yeah. And there's a pin. That was quick. Winters Mill gets another Carroll County championship. So quick, the clock never started. Congratulations to the Winters Mill girls there for another county title. We've got one match left. We've made it to the end. The
There we go.
285-pound weight class, the heavyweights. Caden Bryan of Westminster and Logan Brightful of South Carroll. Bryan with a very quick pin in the semifinals to get that victory and move on to the final. The exact opposite with Logan Brightful, who battled Gianni Serafin into the third period before he was able to seal the shoulders right there, get a pin, and Brightful will try to keep Bryan from winning his third county championship. And if Bryan does get the third county title, he becomes the first Westminster wrestler since Kyle Berger of the late 90s to get 3 career county titles. So a long time coming for that. It's Caden Bryan and Logan Brightful. Let's see what happens.
At the conclusion of these matches, we will roll the mats up and welcome Families
Again,
now
Kyle Berger from Westminster, excuse me. He won three straight, sorry, Michael, from 97 to 99. Westminster has had two-time county champs since then, but not three. And go ahead, Brian off
with
to
an early takedown.
Right, off to a good start.
And right off, yeah, exactly, on a good start. Looking to force the action. And has Logan on his back early. And there is the pin 30 seconds into the match. Caden Bryan, a three-time county champion for the Owls.
Back-to-back Carroll County, back-to-back 30-second pins there for Caden Bryan. That's 3 county championships for him. Congratulations. And just like that, we were here for a long time, but just like that, here we are at the end of the Carroll County Varsity Wrestling Championships. Michael, just a quick recap of the finals. South Carroll Man Valley had the most finalists. The favorites from South Carroll were able to do what they had to do. Just your quick thoughts on how the finals all shook out.
For the most part, I think most of the time the seeds held,
right?
Which means the coaches are doing a good job of the seeding meeting. But they were exciting finals,
sure.
As far as a good bit of action, even if some of them weren't as close as we might have liked.
Right.
But from a spectator view, it's good wrestling, right. and that's always fun to see. There are some just outstanding wrestlers we have here in Carroll County.
Yeah.
So we're really fortunate to have that, and I'm really now excited moving into the region and state series that we're going to have an opportunity to see our wrestlers showcase all that they've got moving forward and bringing some hardware back to Carroll County.
Yeah, and you mentioned that they don't have to go too far because next weekend the three championships are in Carroll County.
Yes.
All 7 teams will be involved in various regional championships, and then the winners of those weight classes, the top 2, I should say, in each of those weight classes, move on to states first weekend of March in Upper Marlboro at the Showplace Arena, kind of the culmination of the season.
Yes, and to think that we are 2 weeks from today, we're done. The wrestling season will be over, but it's that next step, and it's really exciting. We'll see how they play out, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for the great wrestlers that we have here in Carroll County to bring home a lot of that hardware.
We're wrapping this season up. We're going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining us for the Carroll County Varsity Wrestling Championships. For Michael Duffy, I'm Pat Stetzer. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.
It's very shuffled paper.
Yep.